Hello everyone and welcome back to Dungeon Delvers, the geeky crazy stream of geeky people who like Dungeons and Dragons.
Really haven't nailed it. I mean,
Nice one!
episode 18 and we've not nailed it.
The stream of people who are geeky who like to play Dungeons and Dragons and we like to share it online on YouTube, preferably. It's one of them. Where we like to delve deeper into the realms of Icewind Dale. There you go. I mean, there's a secret Easter egg in that sentence somewhere, but I think
Secret treasure.
We welcome you to the channel. Thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate the likes, comments, and subscribes. Keep them coming in. Keeps us motivated to create content and obviously give you what you need in terms of D&D fulfillment, as it were. We've got a few announcements for tonight. I forgot to ask last time about announcements, but yeah, we have got some announcements for tonight. And the two is that we have two pictures instead of the one picture.
Hello.
And Salvation is still with us, but life things getting in way of making pictures real. And
I've kidnapped her into my pictureless world.
There you go.
I'm here, I'm just poorly.
They're formless.
And
I didn't want the people to see me curled up in bed, but I still wanted to be here because I demand answers.
I mean, that was going to come out of my mouth, but... And Jackal, as always, you know, he can't show his hillbilly face because it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Don't worry, you wouldn't want to. It's fucking ugly.
And you know what? I like hillbillies, so it's fine.
Oh! It's okay.
Anyway.
You can praise her, still have a crush on me.
I do.
Jesus Christ.
We carry on our Icewind Dale campaign. This is now episode 18, I believe. This is fantastic. We've done 18 episodes. And we're all still alive, I think, on the inside. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the cast to roll a d20 for me. Sentry, you're exempt from this.
Ooh. Wow. Get ready for the quiz, boys and girls.
I got an 8.
I got a 3.
Oh,
19.
A 19.
Oh, no, you don't have to roll.
I wanted to.
So
No, you will feel left out.
Sentry rolled anyway, but and it was actually one of the highest rolls. You were lucky that actually. Do you know what? Because you rolled and because you're so smug, I'm going to make you roll again and Salvation roll again.
Oh,
I thought he was exempt.
I don't
know
mind.
because
I know
you rolled.
exactly what happened. It's fine.
Salvation still the
15.
highest.
You still got the best out of us.
Okay. So
Well, this should be fun.
as of last time, basically what we're doing, so every session we're going to get one of the cast basically to tell a first person almost documentary of what they went through last episode as a recap, and then anything obviously they didn't get, such as if they was in a kind of a coma or a state of where they weren't conscious, obviously I will fill in the gaps and then give you the last episode kind of review. But as it stands, the highest roll goes to Salvation. So Salvation, please can you give me a first person autobiography of the last episode, please?
Of course. So, me and Batul, we go into city. We tried to get into Tarkas, but they would not let Batul in. There's some shady characters in the queue. It's real weird. We get in there. Batul have to go back, and then whole place gone to shit. Absolute mess. Lots of people fighting. It's real bad. The tavern, even worse. Not good at all. Go to find Axe Peaks. None at all. Real bad. So I go back. There's shady character. He tried to convince me to do some deal or something, but he seemed bad. So I take his weird coin thingy and I took it back to Jackal, who told me it was some kind of guild or something. I don't know. I didn't quite get it. So we
Everyone's like,
then
yeah.
I want to be patient, that's why. So we take a long rest. Next morning we go to Brinchanter and we know that there's a sacrifice coming up that can be real bad. So we go into the city, pretty scary, not as bad as Tarkos. So we go in to see this fortune teller lady. We follow Batul because she said it's a good person to go to, this safe person. So we go and she read our fortunes. And Jackal and Willow get really cool ones and they get to find out they have secret identities like superheroes. But me, no. We just get dragged in the back and then find out Batul, big wizard lady. It's super weird.
That was very impressive. Very impressive. And the fact that you kept using yourself and not third person, because it's very easy to fall back into Salvation went into, but you went, oh, he went back into place. It's very, yes, well done. Very well done.
Oh no, when I'm in character, I am in
the DM.
Is he no longer exists?
The DM will remember the efforts that went into, obviously, the last one in Century, obviously, Salvation this time.
Thank you.
So yeah, I will give the official recap, which is just from everyone's perspective. So last we left off, the party made shelter in Keegan's workshop, or work hut, to plan their next steps. After Saya decided to light everyone's spirits by cooking dinner, with some help from Jackal and Willow's salt. The Yeti meat he spent time preparing was eaten in a few bites by Athena. Meanwhile, Salvation and Batul went to Targos to find Axebeaks that could take them as far north as possible. Batul was sent back to the hut as she could not gain entry, and unfortunately the leadershipless town that had no sign of control or authority was an unsettling sight for Salvation. She approached Owen, the owner of the Luskan Arms, first to find where Brian was, who has the Axebeaks. Finding that the Luskan Arms was also would have to close, and Owen had to abscond the city because of the situation, saddening the situation still. Finding Brian, the owner of the Axebeak hire shop, he gestured that there would be enough. For the party, there wouldn't be enough for the party, but there would be enough the day after or two available to Axebeaks for a few days, but probably not the amount of time that they were looking for. So, leaving Targos empty-handed, Salvation bumped into Tyson and Myrrh, a couple of sellswords adorning the banner of the Pash Bounty Hunter clan, offering their services on the party's upcoming travels, and passed her a coin with the promise of a help if they were to visit the old shanty in Bryn Shander. Made her way back to the hut with no Axebeaks and information about the situation in Targos. The party left Bryn Shander the following morning. For Bryn Shander the following morning. Heading out, meeting some of the travellers from Bryn Shander on the way. Ralphus, the wine courier, and Franklin, the tour guide, essentially. The party entered the overwhelming town of Bryn Shander and quickly found that Batul wanted to visit Baldora as soon as possible. With haste, most of the party, except for Saya, followed her into the darker, more terrible parts of Bryn Shander, the kind of shanty towns, if you were, until finding an old woman sat by a clothed table, who was recognised as immediately as Baldora, the psychic, as you've heard. After a reveal of some false names and visions of what's to come, Batul went missing, and in Salvation's future, Baldora found a vision of a traitor that was hanging around in the party. Batul, or now we know, name as Velen, or Villain, or Violin, or whatever you want to call it.
Violin.
Baldora took the party inside her chambers to discuss what's next and the possible dangers they are in. And that's where we left off. Immediately, you see you guys. Let me just change the Atmos.
I want to know what Saya's buying.
Yeah, I want to know what I'm buying.
So, first thing we're going to do.
That's the most exciting part.
So the first thing we're going to do, what you see where we last left off, is the kind of almost revealing of this new character. And she has just said to you about the ruse that has been with you all this time, which is Batul. And she turned around, went to this chest and opened up, and what you realised in the chest, Oaklin, I'm going to say Willow now, it's Oaklin. I'm going to name you Oaklin, you're now Oaklin.
Okay.
So just in case I say Willow, you still get what I mean. You recognise in this chest are components for spells. You're not quite sure what kind of spells, pardon me, but you know their spells nonetheless. So you assume that she is preparing some sort of possible incantation or future spell that she may use to help. But she turns around and finishing off a sentence, she looks at every one of you and goes, "We need to make a plan now. We are all in grave danger, unfortunately. And we need the help of all of you."
Hold on. How do we know we can trust you?
And she kind of like, as you say that, she kind of looks at you with a at the moment she's holding your hands, as she said the bit about Velen. She lets go, and she looks back, and she kind of goes, "How do you know if you can trust me?" "Well, I suppose the only other way is for you to go outside and face her yourself."
Where is she? And what exactly did you see?
She kind of closes the chest, kind of creaks with the clothes, and kind of like puts it to her side and goes, "I think we need to discuss a few things before we move on. And it's clear that you are not trusting of me. Am I right?"
Don't think we're trusting of anyone. Look at the world we're in.
"I know. But holding the blades that you do," and she looks at you, Oakland, and looks at you, Jackal, "this is a symbol of trust already. And it's supposed to be. So, as a harper to a harper, I say to you, you need to trust me. And that involves your whole party as well."
I mean, we've only been told your name, Beldora. You've seen our symbols. Where's yours to show that you are actually a harper?
At which point she reaches down into a boot, and she looks at you, doesn't take eye contact away from you, and reveals a very small, almost like it's not even a knife, it's like one of those small screwdrivers you get, you know, the tiny ones, and reveals...
What, a Christmas cracker?
Yeah, like a very small, like a very small, few-inch size dagger, and releases it. And on this small dagger, she kind of places it towards you, and kind of like gestures you to have it.
I'll pick it up and inspect it.
Yeah, and as you do, it's pure silver. It's quite heavy for the size of it, and you see in very, very small engravings on the side is the symbol of the Harpers.
Well, it's enough for me. I'm just going to hand it over to Willow.
I'm not sure if it's too late or not, but can I insight check her for everything she said before?
Yeah,
and I
make an
didn't get
insight
to do it last session. I want to see if she's being genuine or she's holding back about the whole situation and the tool as well.
Okay, yeah, making an insight check.
That's a 20.
A 20. With a 20, you kind of like, every time she's speaking about the whole situation with Batul and the future site and things like that, she is very clearly on edge in terms of, you get a sense of urgency, like the fact that I'm trying to get you guys to listen, and because you're not listening, this is holding everything up. That's the sense you get, especially with a 20.
Impatient.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say with a closer inspection, especially with a 20, you can see her gestures in general, in terms of when she's speaking to you. Her facial expressions are quite expressionless. So she speaks to you with purpose, almost like she knows what she's going to say, rather than kind of like using eye expressions like we usually do. She's very, very forward.
It's almost like she's scripted it, what to say.
Not so much scripted, but...
Like, she knows exactly what she's not going to say. It's not like we call out a question on her sort of thing. She knows exactly.
It's almost like she knows what you're going to say before you say it.
Oh.
And that's because you got the 20. Yeah, that's what you get. And she kind of like gestures for the... I mean, you currently have the smaller dagger, is that right? Or the needle, if you want to call it needle. Oakland?
Hmm?
You currently have the small dagger that was
It's
presented
a
to you by Jackal?
letter opener.
Yeah. Do you have... Because Jackal passed you hers. Did you pick it up?
Oh right, I've got her one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would inspect it as well.
Yep. And what you see is, again, a very nicely polished silver, very small, almost mini dagger. Like, it's way too small to do any damage. Like, you could, like, really pinprick someone, but it's...
Hey, if you stab a fly, it's gonna hurt.
Just make a... I mean, if you shoot it quick enough, it's going to kill anyone. Just make a general history check for me as well. And Jackal as well. You make a history check for me.
Off of 10.
Ooh.
Meant to be good at history.
What is going to
Don't get advantage, do I?
2.
Okay.
You dumb as fuck.
So, Jackal, everything at the moment's a little bit too much in terms of things going on. You're not quite... I mean, you kind of like... Regarding the small dagger, you kind of look at it and think, actually, yeah, okay, this seems like proof. But with a 10, I'd say a little bit more of an insight, if anything. You kind of affiliate, and looking at Jackal's dagger versus Dadiala's dagger, you can kind of realise that the Harpers use daggers, but in any sort to represent their kind of affiliation. So it's not just a dagger of a certain size, if that makes sense. So it can be a dagger of anything as long as it's got a Harper affiliation to it.
They don't judge on size.
They don't. Or length. Or sharpness.
Oh god.
So she kind of like gestures a hand out to you, Oakland, to pass the dagger back.
Yeah, I'll pass it.
She kind of puts it back in a boot. And you can see now the kind of like what she's wearing is like the same kind of cloak that she was wearing as Beldora, but underneath are very fine kind of like silk clothes. And you've got kind of like a bandana over kind of one side of her waist, and it's kind of tied round, which is kind of a dull green colour, that kind of like slips around past her waist, and it's like a loose shirt. And then she's got like these pants that fit tightly to her leg, and then she's got these big black leather boots. And for kind of like dressing in this certain way, you could assume that she possibly is some sort of has authority or some sort of authoritative figure. It's not an everyday dress.
Is there while she was like moving about and stuff and flashing her cape everywhere, is there any sort of like medallion, symbol, anything at all Will I would pick up on?
Besides,
I've not taken my eyes off her, by the way.
I would say with your passive perception you can see most of what you see anyway, but what you see in the chest is probably the most you've seen in terms of anything that's of interest in terms of what she's holding or what she's got on her.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, so it's one of those. At the moment, she's kind of like stepped back. She's put that back in the boot. And she's folded her arms once more and kind of looks all of you and goes, "I suggest you get your friend back. And then we can all chat. You had another companion with you?
That's me.
We got 2. The one that just left and one that never came in.
Well, we'll if it's okay with you, we will leave, go and find our friends, and bring them back here so we can discuss business. If it's okay with you.
I mean, there's 2 ways you can do it, and I don't mind which way. You can come back and discuss, which is wasting time in my eyes, and you can see her kind of like getting really restless in terms of her body, her posture. She's like, wasting time like that. Or, and she goes, you can do a bit more research, and we can get on with this and see what's going on. And I would advise you to go straight to the Northlook. That's where the last sighting of the Arcane Brotherhood were.
Well, if it's just going to waste time talking, is there any more useful information we can get before we go out and do our research?
And anything about this Valin as well? Anything that we can way information you have about her?
Yes. And she kind of like gestures to a chair and she goes, we should possibly take a time just talking about this, just so you know a little bit more. Sorry to rush you before. And she kind of like pulls out a few stools and stuff, and she sits down herself.
I would say sit up.
Okay. Is anyone else sitting down? Or is it just her?
If she sits down, I will walk over, but still standing up.
Salvation's going to stay stood up.
I seriously thought it was like, oh, what's one of her weaknesses? And I heard pulls out a chair. I'm like, what, are you going to throw chairs?
Hey man,
She don't like wood.
WWE.
She kind of looks at all of you and goes, I guess we haven't got time to wait for everyone, so I'll tell you now. Her name is Velin Harpel. She is known by few, especially with the Harpers. She is a necromancer and an archmage. There are sightings of from different agents of different elements of this person. Some say she has an owl that follows her around, and some say that is a celestial being. And she has been seen with kobolds and other creatures and sapping energies and using that as a life force. So she could be hundreds, thousands of years old, for all we know. The last bit of information was brought to me upon bad tidings. And the information was from one of our agents who was working within Brinshander. And this was a while ago. Unfortunately, they lost their lives. They went missing and we found their body. And potentially dangerous information. There is a very important artifact within the province of Raven's Rock. Are you familiar with this place?
Can I do a history check to find out?
Yeah, absolutely. Make history.
Okay.
And everyone can
Are
make one.
we?
Oh, we allowed? That is a 17.
I need to make a history check.
Yes.
3.
Oh, okay. I
Great.
thought I'd get let off with
I
that
guess I'm
one.
not bad,
No, it's
so.
fine. I understand what you asked.
Oh, okay. I'm going. History. There we go. Yeah, 15.
Okay. I would say Salvation, I'm going to come back to you in a sec, but you know most of this. Oakland, you have read about the provinces, especially north of the spine of the world, and you've seen bits of, with your travels with Jackal, little bits around kind of where the mountain ranges were. And you are aware and you've read about Raven's Rock. And with a 17, I would say, you understand that there are possible temples, villages, and hidden away nooks of civilization there. And you immediately, what comes to your mind is, why would there be something mysterious within a place where nobody is? Salvation. Obviously, this is now in-game knowledge, and if, in fact, can I get everyone to deafen, please?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Ooh. How do I deafen? Right, bear with.
Yeah. Come
Right.
out full screen. Yeah.
Just raise a hand when you've deafened. Oh. Some people have done
Yeah, that works too.
the manual way. Yeah. So I'm guessing everyone has. So, with a 15 Salvation and growing up around the area, this is where your temple is based. And you... It's almost like you've hit the first piece of a puzzle as soon as the word artifact was mentioned. There are times in your past within the temple where you were stricken out of conversations and stricken out of meetings because of certain things going on, whether it be you're not ready for the ritual or ready for certain things to happen, or you weren't old enough, or you were told certain things. But with that kind of like background check, you kind of realise that there's possibly something else going on here that you may have been lied about.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Anything else?
I would say that's it for now. It's the first piece of the puzzle.
Oh no. I'm making connections in my head that I really don't want to be making, but okay. Alright.
Okay.
Cool.
Everybody come back now.
Yo.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
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 So yeah, I would say at this point, looking kind of you three looking around the room, and we'll get to the rest of you in a sec. Looking around the room, Jackal and Oakland, you look at Salvation, and Salvation's face is kind of like gone to a bit of a world of her own at the moment. During that small bit of conversation.
Salvation has.
Yeah, you both see that with your passive. You just see kind of a kind of slight drop in posture, possibly. But that's it.
Have I seen her become like this before?
Not really. Not recently.
So it's unusual.
Yeah. So, just sitting down and kind of continuing that conversation, she looks around all of you and goes, the last bit of information is that all we know is that she is trying to find something within Icewind Dale. She is here for a reason. Her aim here is to find possession of powerful objects, artifacts, or scrolls or something that can aid her to find what she is looking for.
And what is she looking?
And the only sources that we know, and the very small information, is that she's looking for a lost city. And that is all we know.
Can you
Lost city.
describe what she
How do
looks
you
like?
lose a city?
Oh, say it one at a time.
You go first.
I said lost city. How do you lose a city?
Well, this is what we're trying to find out, Buck. It is difficult to find anything within the tundra, never mind a city, as you can probably imagine. But as far as we're aware, lying around here somewhere is a city. Under the snow, in the sky, under the frozen lakes, I do not know.
What does she look like? Have you got a brief description? So we know what we're looking for.
The only thing we know about her true identity is that she wears facial coverings, such as an eye patch. The rest normally is cloaked up or by the arcane means of this distraction or illusion. So she likes not to be seen. It is the chaos that she leaves behind her that leads her to us and gives her clues of why she is here in the first place.
Does she support any sort of like god, deity, or is she like, I do this on my own way?
Just move to the mic a bit closer.
Yeah.
I can't change it.
No, it's when you like look down at it sometimes, and then you look up at it.
Okay,
Yeah.
anyway. Whoopsie, technology. Does she support any sort of deities, gods? Or is she one of her own stature that thinks that she's the almighty power?
One would only assume that she thinks she's more powerful than a god.
Well, you have seen into my future, so I am assuming you know where I come from. Do you know what she might want with my temple?
Well, if it is true of what they say and what is around and the information we know about Raven's Rock, it was the last known place of a very powerful individual. And that individual may have had artifacts that has been hidden away. Tell me more about your temple, if you don't mind, Salvation.
I don't think we'll be saying anything else. We really need to get going. I'm so sorry to cut this off short, but as you said, we're running out of time. So we're going to get moving because we need to find Sayer as well. He's unaware of this.
Yes, this is true. We must get the whole pottery together.
Before you go, is there anything we should have on us to protect us from this in case we get anyone of the Arcane Brotherhood, even herself, to defend ourselves? Out of curiosity, is she weak to anything?
She kind of like turns around to you and goes, the mix between being an archmage and a necromancer, there is not much. She's probably not. She's wielding so much power that it is not knowledgeable to know what she is using, what power, whether this be the arcane, whether this be the undead. But what I can give you, she kind of looks down and goes, these are very special potions, but I can give you something to help. And she turns around, opens the chest once more, kind of rustles around a few things. You see feathers, and with a closer inspection, kind of like you peer over, and you can see like bits of like mud and tar, and she's like flicking out sacks and parcels of all sorts of weird things. And then she brings out 2 vials, and one vial is bright green, and the other vial is bright red. And you recognize instantly the one in her left hand as some sort of healing potion. Or most of you would see that red liquid. But the other one, she kind of turns around and she goes, this I probably guess you know what it is. They sell these regularly at the market, but this is a greater healing potion.
Wow.
You can have this. This is my last one. This one is in case of any paralysis, disease of the mind. If you find yourself incapacitated in any way, here, and have this. 2 sips. And there's a small vial. It's about the same size of as her little knife was. It's like a small shot of liquid. And she just hands them out. Who's grabbing them?
That's me.
Bless you.
Oh, Fee said, that's me. Oh, sorry.
I was sneezing.
Well, if no one's grabbing them, I'll pick them up.
Yep. She hands them over to you and goes, that is all I can do for you for now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some more inquiries, find out some more information, knowing what I know now, especially with you involved. And perhaps we can get some more support from the Harpers. That is the only thing I can do.
Sounds good to me. Should we head out?
Well, I just have to ask quickly. I mean, this is a more dangerous task than I think most of us have taken on in any of our time. I mean, this archmage sounds very, very powerful. So, I mean, well, to put it nicely, we don't risk our lives on the daily for free.
And she kind of like raises an eyebrow. One of the very first expressions you've seen from her face. And she kind of looks at you straight on, Jackal, and she goes, Buck, there are some things that money should not be involved with. And I am not talking about silly, small bounties, no offense. I am talking about the humanity of the civilizations of Icewind Dale and the South, and anybody you care about are now in danger because of this. We could wake up next week and find it all gone. We could wake up tomorrow and find it all gone. And you want to stand here and talk about money?
God fucking damn it. Always making me out to be the bad guy.
Sometimes, Buck, money is not everything. This is the start of your downfall, of which I told you about earlier on.
Fuck.
Well, that's pretty fucking rude.
I make a living. That is the start of your down.
If you remember the end of last session, Jackal, she mentioned about money will give you great sacrifice. Or earning riches will give you great sacrifice.
Oh,
Fuck your
shit.
living.
Yeah. That's what she's referencing to. As it happened in game about a minute ago. Where really it happened a few days ago.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, apologies for the rush, but this is kind of concerning, so we're going to head off, and I'm going to grab Salvation's hand and attempt to,
Yeah.
not in like a rush fashion, I'd say in a polite way, because obviously this is not my home or
Yeah.
anything, and make my way to the exit.
Yeah, so, I mean, she led you in by a curtain, by the way. It's not like a room.
Oh, right.
This thing is like a makeshift thing. And she kind of stands up, pushes the chair back, and looks at it and goes, "Okay, I will call you if you need me. I have ways and means to call upon you."
Okay.
And she kind of waves you, and then she turns around. And as she turns around, she goes back into a familiar Beldora, long scraggly hair, she picks up this old wooden staff, and she comes back out, and she kind of walks out with you and opens the cloak and goes, "I'll see you later, dearies. It's nice Beldora always likes folk like you round." And she kind of sits back down on a chair and goes, "Now where was I?" And kind of yeah. And she goes back to being this kind of herself, or not trying to cause any distraction, as you assume she's gone back into this alter ego or alter state. As you guys leave, as this has been happening, Sentry, you are now heading, or pretty much towards, if you were heading in the direction where you came, you are back towards the North Look. And coming out of the small alleyway and dipping out of it, you see it straight in front of you.
I was going to say, whilst I'm going through, are there any... I don't see Buttle or any inkling Buttles being there, do I?
Make a perception check. Or are you searching around or looking? Just with your eyes, what are you doing? Are you physically going on the ground and looking, or are you using your eyes?
No, just whilst I'm walking back.
Okay, so perception check.
17.
17. And kind of you're looking back, the hustle and bustle of this place, in terms of on the way back, you're going through traffic of strange folk, people who are a bit weird. Like I mentioned earlier, you've got people trying to make a living. You've got individuals, maybe sellswords or mercenaries of sorts that are a bit darker than the rest, are wearing very ragtag bits of clothing and rusted swords, and these guys couldn't look like they could stand a bar fight if they tried. But you're kind of looking around and seeing if there's anything different. You do hear on the way out some thudding, but you assume it would be Athena following the rest, as Athena was sent to scout out on top. But as you make your way out, there are so many footprints on the floor and so many different people walking backwards and forwards.
Yeah, can't make it out.
There's nothing really you can see.
Cool.
Not from a look from your eyes anyway. You'd have to possibly go in deeper and figure out a way to track something else that you're looking for.
Yeah. Cool. No problem. Yeah, if I'm out onto the main...
Yeah, you're onto a mainer strip now. You're back onto the way in. So you can see the gate in front of you and the North Look, and you're just coming around that corner. And the hustle and bustle of the North Look is still there. You can hear the shouting and the chanting and the music, and everything is still going on.
Yeah, just look towards the entrance gate. Look towards the sword shop, weapon shop that Sarah went towards.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of the snow just hitting on Sentry, just occasionally little and I'll make my way towards the weapon shop.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the sign which Saya has seen. Speaking of Saya, while that whole conversation was going on, we're zooming back probably about a few minutes. So this is possibly before you walked into Baldora's abode.
Oh yeah. He gets to do shopping.
Yeah, so we're almost time going back. And Saya, what you see is a very busy centre of town, and you see market stalls that are selling all sorts. You see merchants that are selling carpets, rugs. You see someone selling timber or items to build constructions, and you see stone and iron for sale. You also see fruits and garlic, and this place is bustling with all sorts of trade from Icewind Dale, and it's probably the most diverse you've seen. And for someone like you, it's like a kid in a sweet shop. I mean, part of you goes, there's so much to steal, but the other part of you goes, there's a lot of stuff here. That's really interesting.
I guess I'll go to that sword shop that I was looking at.
The Black Iron Blades, yeah. And it doesn't take you long. You look straight ahead. And while you've been walking down here, you can hear the familiar ding, ding, ding. And as you walk closer, you can definitely see the workshop and the kind of armaments which are around. You see this kind of like canvas pulled on this tent, and around are like wooden weapon racks with all sorts of different weapons, armaments, boots, pickaxes, horseshoes, all sorts. And you assume this is the kind of area for trade, especially within iron or making of iron or swords and things that can be crafted. Just bear with me a sec. Just gonna get some notes on.
Okay. I'm just thinking. Is there a way? I don't know if it would work in game, but is there a way to like upgrade weapons at all? I wonder if that's a thing.
It depends what you're looking for, because I mean, weapons are weapons at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not like when you go into Skyrim and you find another weapon and it's like, this has 45 damage, not 46. Like, it's a weapon.
Okay.
A weapon is a weapon. If it is enhanced in some way, you may get a +1, +2, or +3. And what I mean by enhanced, I mean like magically or endorsed physically with some sort of advantage that weapon or armament might give you.
Okay. Do I see anyone in there I could talk to about that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So as you approach, you kind of see this anvil. You see him like hitting on this kind of pickaxe at the end of it. What you assume is the spoke end of the pickaxe. And he's got these big goggles on. It's a short dwarven fella, and he's got long black hair, kind of like. I mean, if we're gonna go from descriptions, think The Hobbit, and think of the King Under the Mountain.
We're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Black hair, kind of sweating down, not tied up, sleeves rolled up. Yes, he's got kind of like a winter garb on, but it's not heavily cloaked. Got goggles on, and he's kind of going ding, 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 and you can see him working away in the distance. Yeah. Do you want to get his attention?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get his.
So.
I guess I'll like knock on, like if there's like a desk or anything, kind of to get like someone.
It's more so open, so it's just like this canvassed roof, but everything. There's no desk. It's more like things are everywhere. But he kind of like sees you approach as you get closer, and he goes, "All right, lad, what can I do you for?"
I sort of like nod at him and like I pull out my my rapier and say, "Is there any way you think you could improve this?"
And he kind of looks at you and goes, "First off, welcome to Black Iron Blades. This is the finer blade crafting within Icewind Dale. And what is this?" And he kind of like, he takes it off you, and he looks at it up and down. And he kind of looks back at you and goes, "Whose craftsmanship is this, may I ask?"
Trying to think of how I should do this because I haven't actually thought of that. Okay, yeah, I know how to do it. Right.
How do you want to do this?
Go down the road.
No. Sayer looks a little bit uncomfortable and he's like, "I prefer not to say."
Just a fellow interested tradesman looking to learn a certain skill from possibly someone you know, but it's fine.
That's
I mean,
fine.
What do you make of this, Els? And he kind of turns around, and this female dwarf, long ginger hair, big blue beady eyes, loads of freckles, rolled up sleeves. She's kind of like placing items on the shelf, and she turns around and goes, "Hey, how you doing? You right? Oh, what have you got there?" She kind of like looks at it as well and goes, "That is definitely a nice blade, young lad. What is it? What is he asking? Is he asking for any particular?" And he kind of he looks back and he goes, "He's asking for upgrades." She kind of looks back and goes, "Well, I've not seen anything like that before. I don't know about you, but probably a bit out of our realms." And she goes, "Aye, I could do with something like that to learn off whoever made it." And he kind of looks at you and goes, "Probably nothing I can do, lad."
That's quite all right. I just thought I would check.
What did you say? Sorry, what did you say?
I said that's quite all right. I thought I should just check in.
Okay, and he kind of like nods his head and he kind of gives it you back. Like,
can I have a look around the room to see if there'll be anything of interest I could buy, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, you see all sorts here. There is plenty for supplies in terms of just a general store for cold weather boots, ice pickaxes, ropes, anything for kind of climbing or scaling a mountain.
Would there be any crossbow bolts at all?
Yeah, absolutely. There's bunches of them in barrels. You can see them.
Okay, doke. I'll pick up. I'll ask him how many for 10 crossbow bolts.
Which one are you asking? Are you asking Elza or are you asking Garn?
Gone.
Gone. And Elza kind of walks away at this point and goes, and just like walks off back towards the shelf. You got Garn's attention. He kind of looks and goes, "Aye, crossbow bolts. Well, we'll call it a silver apiece. How's that? Just for you."
Sounds good to me.
So 10 silver in total.
I've only got 8 silver, but I have 65. I can't remember how.
10 gold. 10 silver, 1 gold. I think.
Okay, I'll do 1 gold then.
Yeah.
If you do anything with money, though, Ollie, it's the first shop in D&D that you've been into. Remember, you can only barter if you have a selection of things to end with. So, stick shit in your cart, check out at the end.
Okay then, is
Wise
there
words.
anything else I see?
That's fine. That's fine. You see, I mean, what else are you looking for? Let's be more specific.
Okay. I didn't really know what I was going in. I was just kind of browsing, to be fair. I wasn't really going in for a specific. The only thing I was thinking of was obviously the upgrades, but I know they're not really in that business.
Yeah.
Well, I know that. No, I think I'll just get the bolts really because I was running low.
Make a perception check before we say.
Sure. Maybe like some kind of armor, maybe. Like that I could use.
Okay. What did you get? Name your rolls.
Oh, I got a 10.
A 10. With a general 10, yeah, I mean, there's more swords than armaments here. More kind of like crossbow bolts, javelins, short swords, the odd battle axe. Again, all the accessories you've seen. You're not too sure about in terms of armor. And from what you've seen and what your general knowledge about building armor and crafting weapons and things like that, there's normally specific hardware needed, and you can't see it within the vicinity. You can see it for like just basic kind of iron shifting and iron kind of manipulation, but there's nothing for smelting a set of armor that you can see. And you'd know that as being in this world, that's what you'd be used to.
Okay, would there be any leather armors or anything though?
With a 10, you kind of see on the back of the rack, you can see some sort of like clothing and cloaks, possibly some leather armor, possibly some leather straps. Yeah.
Okay. I might as well get a cloak just in case I want to hide at some point.
Okay.
Like hide my places because I don't actually have one of those. So I'll take a cloak and then 10 the bolts.
Yep. The cloaks are black, and they're by nature black iron blades. They keep everything kind of a singular monochrome colour.
Yeah.
So you see this kind of like cloak in the distance. You point it out and you go, Ah, lad. Yeah, I'll get you that as well. Kind of like goes back and grabs it over and places it on this kind of pile of crossbow bolts.
Cool.
Is there anything else you like while you're here? Do for?
That'll be everything, my friend.
That's great. So we got 1 silver apiece for the bolts, and we'll call it 3 silver for the cape, for the cloak.
Okay, I give him 1 gold piece and then 3 silver.
Okay. Kind of like puts his kind of a meaty palm out. It's quite a fat palm because he's a dwarf and he's quite stocky, and he places it in this glove, kind of like puts it in a side person, kind of like goes, there you go. Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you very much. And I start to make my way out.
And you kind of hear him as you turn around with your passive perception. You kind of hear him go, he was an interesting lad, wasn't he? And then you walk off.
Fair enough.
Which way are you going?
I'll head back because obviously I saw the guys go down that alley. I'm like, I might as well see what they're up to down there. So I start making my way back the way I came.
Okay. Give me a second.
I'm assuming I would see sentry or something at that point.
Hold on. Okay. As you start to leave the market and head back towards where you came from, make a perception check as you leave.
Sure. Perception. I got a 12.
A 12. As you've been kind of walking through the hustle and bustle of the marketplace, you've been knocked around bits by bits, and you kind of feel a little lighter than you did.
Oh.
Do I smell or hear anything with that 23 advantage?
Smell-wise, there's a lot going on here. There are so many different things.
Right. Hearing nothing then? Just too much crowd?
In terms of hearing, I would say with a 23, and you're absolutely right because you get advantage with that.
Mm-hmm.
As you started to leave the market, and as you were making your way out of the kind of hustle and bustle area of the marketplace, you heard almost jingling of coins that went very quiet.
Can I tell where it's coming from? Where it came from?
Possibly your pouch.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How did you not catch on to that?
So I would say at this point, with a 23, you've started to walk out, you've got your cloak and you've got your bolts, and you kind of like you're kind of like passing through people, shimmering through the crowd, and you kind of walk up and you go, and you kind of like at that split second you go like that, and then you don't see anything because of the passive. Sorry, your normal perception, which is 15.
I look for my money.
Your coin purse is gone.
Good. Okay. Shit. I can't really do much about that if I can't see whoever did it. Can I not hear? Like
you heard a direction where it was going.
Of it running away.
Yeah, you heard a direction from your left-hand side, and you almost assume that leads back into the middle of the market square.
Okay.
What their options are here, because obviously, just to let you know, you can make your way back into the market and have a further investigation, or you can just sporadically looking around, try and be creative with your abilities to try and find something.
Okay. I'll go back into the market store where I heard my jingling.
Yep.
Going off.
So you turn around as soon as you see it. You turn around and you walk that direction. Yep.
Yeah, and I keep a huge ear out for any my recognizable jingle of my money. My money.
Okay. I will make you make an investigation check for this because you are physically now looking around, as in not just looking, but you're almost figuring things out.
Yep. All right. 11.
11. It's hard to see, hard to hear, hard to... There's a lot going on here. There's so much going on.
I don't know what to do.
You just got robbed.
Fuck. So I couldn't tell who this person was, and what their race they were, or anything. Only... Oh, fuck. Well...
Take it this way, just to paint a picture, you've got 50 or 60 patrons walking around. You have 4 to 10 to 12 stands of different things going on. You have moved and shuffled through a crowd, and you've heard a jingle move to your left, and you've gone and you've heard, and you're trying to use all your senses, and there is nothing. There is so much stuff going on, especially with the rolls that you've made not to decipher what was going on.
Okay, I think at this point, Sarah would think it's just a better idea to group up with everyone and tell them what's happened to see if they can help me.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of like look around. You get really frustrated. You've got your bolts and you've got your cloak, and you kind of, in a bit of a defeated way, you kind of slump down and go, angry, bitter. Walk past and go back towards the north exit or entrance, if you want to call it.
Okay, and I go towards that alleyway that I lost all them, I suppose.
When you lose your coin, don't delete your money. That is the first mistake. So keep your money on your character sheet, just in case you find your coin purse back and it saves it, put it back, and you can recognise how much you lost. Just make a mental.
If not, just put a note for it.
Just make a mental note that your coin purse is gone.
Yeah.
Delete it, Ollie. It's gone. You're never getting it back.
I'll fucking steal your money in a minute.
Always an option.
It's the rolls, man.
Right. I put a little asterisk next to all of my my numbers.
Okay. Cool. Sneaky buggers around town. Cool. So you make your way back. As you're walking back, this is where the meeting happened at the same time. So this is now working parallel.
Mm-hmm.
About 30 seconds to a minute, you kind of like in the distance, like 50, 60 feet away from you, probably a little bit further, you see a honking figure of a familiar sentry walking towards you.
I kind of pick up the pace so I get to him quicker.
And we're talking quite far off, like you could just about see, like you have to kind of through a few heads, and yeah, you start making your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been aligning it towards sentry?
Yeah.
Okay, and now sentry's there. We'll GTA zoom back over to the three of you. What are you guys doing as you've exited Beldora's abode?
Looking for the others.
Yeah, I think we're just going to be skedaddling straight away. I don't think I'd be saying anything until I'm out of earshot.
Okay.
And Salvation's just sticking real close to Willow.
Yeah, I'm holding her hand and dragging her along with me.
Okay.
Oh, and I would have silent speech for Athena to come down as soon as there's enough room for her to fit.
Oh yeah, poor Athena's just been on top, like,
Yeah.
what do I do now?
So Athena, you get the sense that Athena's just been prowling, like keeping low, doing the kiddie like stoop, kind of like looking for things. And, yeah. Like that kind of. And you could hear her quite clearly on some of the rooftops because they're made of smaller, thinner material, so you could hear the.
Yeah.
Just go through.
Yeah, and as you kind of like leave the first initial corner where you saw the worker, you basically see the ledge on which she jumped up, and you kind of see her go, and she jumps back down towards you, Jackal.
Yeah, good girl. Good girl. As I'm just going to give her a nuzzle, and then in the city, I will get her to walk like very close to me. I won't ride her, so she'll speak like right next to me, like a sort of really obedient pet.
Yeah. So as she kind of like scrunch her face, she goes like, yeah, she kind of like really enjoys. You get the sense that she's missed you a little bit, especially with that little bit of telekinetic communication you've got. As the rest of you see obviously Athena jump down and nuzzle, and you kind of walked towards the direction of where you came. And as you're walking, Jackal, you kind of like look back towards Athena and kind of looking around, and you're all on edge now, I'm assuming, looking for Batul or traces of. Is that what you guys are up to?
I think we'd all be looking for anything.
Anything. So I mean, just playing. I'm not trying to tell you guys to do anything. I'm just assuming here because I'm just trying to get a bit of flavour to what you're up to.
You are assuming correct.
So you're kind of looking around and this kind of thing. And Jackal, you look back and you look forward again, and your hearing goes almost like silent a little bit, and it kind of muffled, and then you hear, "We need to meet immediately. You must meet me. Icewind Shander." You immediately recognize the voice of Hammondquell in your head.
Yeah, Hammond. Okay. I'm going to think in my head. I don't know if you can hear me, but yes, we're in the center of Bryn Shander, I'm pretty sure. Can you meet us here?
Kind of moment goes by, your hearing comes back, like it kind of like, you know when you go underwater and you come back out of water, and it kind of goes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And you think what you've just said, and a kind of moment goes by, and you hear a voice go to you and go, "The alleyway to your left, turn."
Looking at you.
This is a very dark sat nav.
This is Quell Nav, mate. This is Quell Nav.
Okay, who's with me? Sorry, it's Oakland and
Salvation and Athena.
Alright, it's a quick detour. Follow me. Make sure, just look natural. Try and make it unseen.
This Jackal's just going to split off from the crowd without making a scene of anything and go down the alleyway.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Keeping very close eye outs as well, yeah. Got to be slightly sneaky and keeping an eye out.
Hooker right at your hookers.
15.
15. You guys make a perception check.
Well, all of us.
Yep, both of you guys.
I.
Me as well.
That's a 24.
Just wanted to see if you saw it. That's all.
Oh, did you want me to as well?
Yep, both of you.
Perception.
If it was for me as well, but 19.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You didn't need to. Just sorry. Yeah, Oakland.
Okay, cool.
And,
You did.
okay, 13. Salvation. You're kind of like still looking around and still a bit more annoyed that Batul has lied to you all this time. But Willow, you do see a kind of like well, he tells you he's going off, but you didn't see him leave. But you know that he went, but you was like, oh, that was good. Like he walked off and then he went into the distance and turned left, and you're quite surprised at his nimbleness. Salvation, you just see 1 minute Jackal's there, he says something and then he's gone.
Oh.
So we'll go to Jackal. So Jackal, what you see, and you're cheering off down this alleyway, and what it is very similar to what we said earlier. So these streets are quite tight knit. The buildings are quite close together, and there is the odd, we're talking like meter gap between these buildings. And you sheer a left off down. Athena can't follow you down this kind of size route. So you're going to have to...
Cool. The moment she can't follow... Yeah, I'll leave her. If she can, I'll tell her to follow me from rooftops as quietly as possible, or I'll just tell her to stay.
Yeah,
depending what the easier option's going to be.
What you do is you kind of like go towards this alleyway. You realise Athena can't get through, so you turn around and about to talk to her, and then you sense something straight in front of you, and right in front of you is the figure of Hammondquell.
Oh yeah.
And the kind of familiar dress and the mask and everything, and it's quite a nice sight for sore eyes, especially what you've been through. And he kind of looks at you and he goes, well, thank you for short notice.
I didn't even realize you were here. What brings you here, Hammond?
It is a matter of me tracking you down this time, Jackal. We have spent some time around Targos, looking into the investigation of how Nirth passed and the assassination attempts on other political leaders from other people. But nonetheless, the town has gone to shit. And more so, I must tell you, the Zentarim have moved in.
Into where?
They have made base, I'm aware. I have done my own research. They have almost made encampments secretly within the town. As the town has no authority or no leadership, they are letting all of the shadow networks in. And, Jackal, what I must warn you is that you have awoken a power and you've awoken a new faction with you and your party.
A new faction? Hammond, please. Tell me everything you know.
You're aware of how we work as bounty hunters, yes? I do not need to tell you how we work. We get a job.
No, of course not.
We get a job from Lord. We get a job from individuals that want something turking out or something a bit more deep. These individuals, Jackal, they have no affiliation. They have no faction. And what I have seen with my own eyes, they are trained in ways that I do not know.
An unknown factionless clan free to roam a leaderless, shipless city. That makes them dangerous, Hammond.
It does not just make them dangerous, Jackal. It makes them powerful. I do not like powerful.
So what do you suggest?
I assume they are bound by magic. Because the way they operate, they do not move like me or you. They use shadows. They move around at night, and they will cut your throat in your sleep.
Jackal stands back to think for a second. If he didn't have a mask on, it'd almost be like a look of speechlessness. As he thinks,
Hammond, there's no way with them becoming this powerful and this dangerous that they're unorganized. There must be something going on in the dark, in the shadows, without us even noticing.
He kind of looks back at you and turns around, like, make sure no one's listening. And kind of looks back and... If that is right, I would like proof. I do not know their purpose here. I do not know what they are doing in Targos. I understand why they use that place, because there is nobody there. It is perfect. Why wouldn't they? But what the Quell faction have decided to do is name these, and I have reported back with information. And we now call them the Shadow Spawn.
The Shadow Spawn. So, we've now got a name to their faces, yet they still remain faceless.
Faceless, they remain almost physical. Body is not there.
Jesus Christ, Hammond. And I thought just coming into the city alone was a big enough burden as it was. Well, I mean, I'll listen out and I'll do my best and I'll act on any information I know, but this sounds bigger than any of us.
Well, I'm organizing a truce between, hopefully, the Push, but also some of the rivaling bounty hunters. The Index are probably long gone from our relationship, but I'm going to reach out to the Farmoon clan as well. And if this is a bigger threat than I think, then we need everyone to work together to put aside their differences.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, I know the passion and you people in this Bounty Guild game of ours, but so I'm glad that you're going to be able to at least try and organize some kind of treaty between, well, it sounds like we're going to need all the help we can get in this shit state of a situation.
He kind of nods and then shuffles his kind of coat and cloak and he goes, I must go, but there is one more thing I need to tell you before I leave.
I'm all ears.
I know little about you, Jackal. I've kept myself to myself, but I understand why you do what you do, and I've been following you for a while without you knowing. And I just keep an eye on you, just to make sure you're safe, because you're worth saving. Because, Jackal, this world needs a new Vendilion. And before he just you even reply, he turns around and just walks off. You see this kind of shadowy figure walk into the distance.
Oh shit!
I seriously thought he was going to say, I am your father.
Imagine. Oh my god!
Yeah, imagine that. Goddamn.
You're 6 feet taller than me. What?
Fuck,
Well, it wasn't just me.
Fuck! Razor, you're naughty DM. You're naughty.
Yeah, at this point, I would say that he walks off. Do you walk back to the others?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
How is Salvation looking, by the way? So I'm just staying next to her, keeping an eye out.
Yes. Salvation, how you looking?
Concerned, mostly, and pretty confused, probably. Other than that, not just a bit spaced.
You would recognise these emotions. You've spent enough time with Salvation to know when she's looking a bit off.
Cool.
Unless you're covering your face at all, Salvation.
Nope.
No. Okay. Yeah, you see this quite clearly.
That bitch is my jacket.
Fuck's sake.
Wait. Well, I am confused. You are good with magic, yes?
I am, yes.
I told you I cast spell on Batul outside of Targos. Well, I mentioned it briefly whilst we were in there. It was a spell called Zone of Truth. Have you heard of this before?
DM?
You know a lot about all the arcane, or most of the arcane realms of spells and what they do. You've heard of the word Zone of Truth, and you've read about things that are similar. I wouldn't make you need to roll a check for this because you would know this.
Yeah, I'd know this well.
Cool. Yeah, you'd understand what Zone of Truth or the idea of what it does.
Wait, so you cast Zone of Truth, but how is she able to hide from it? I swear that sort of spell. Did you feel it go through to her? Because I swear that's the only way that it can really work. Did it work?
Well, I cast it first time, and that time it not work. But then she stopped, realized what I was doing because we were taught it at the temple, and then she let me do it. I thought that was a way of her letting me know I could trust her, and then I asked her if she was hiding anything, if there is anything about the Arcane Brotherhood. She did not tell us, and she said no, she was not hiding anything. So I wondered if you knew if there was any way to get around it, because I really don't know what to think or who to trust right now. I'm feeling a little lost.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm a little bit worried about this Beldora. I don't quite know who she is, but she's far more powerful than anyone I've ever seen, except that doesn't matter.
There is something else bothering me.
Yes?
When we were going into Tarkos, we were an enchanter. We were trying to come up with a fake name for her because she said she had not signed the lottery before. The fake name she gave was Velian.
How does it make any sense? She could pass a truce spell.
If
And
it
if
really
she-
was Velian, then why would she use the name like that unless she wanted us to know, or it was some kind of signal or something? I do not know. I don't know. I know that they were hiding things from me at the temple. I was always told, salvation, you are too young, not yet, acolyte, in a few years you can do this, and I told you that, but I am starting to worry that they were hiding something more sinister. But I don't know, I have known Batul since I was 6 years old.
It is strange, but I
I
know
am just...
Raven. Notes. Where are my notes? Shit, they're right here. Oh, there it is. Funny enough, I've actually read of Raven's Rock. Strange how these come up, but it mentions temples and civilization outside. How far away temple is it excluded from civilization such as, well, where we are now?
Well, it is far enough for the temple's needs, but it is not far from Ravenrock. That was our nearest town, although I wasn't allowed to venture there very often. The temple itself is set back in the mountain.
Doesn't that make any sense to you? Raven's Rock, that's what they're looking for. Your temple near Raven's Rock. They're looking for a certain artifact.
I don't know. Like I said, they hid many things from me, so I do not know if they are looking for some kind of artifact. I would need to know what it is to know if I have seen it or heard of it before. If that's not Batul, if that really is some very powerful mage, I am just worried that the real Batul is out there somewhere.
Well, either that was Batul and she was afraid, so she left, or it was this Valin. I think we should go somewhere. Yes, I think we all need to be together. I think the of us to explain a few things, if you get what I mean.
I have idea, but I cannot do it till tomorrow.
Okay.
I have spell. You say Batul was still wearing your jacket, yes?
Yes, and it was actually quite a nice jacket, if I might say myself. Oh, but that was actually one of the finest silks.
Well, I cannot find Batul, but I do not have it prepared right now, but after a little rest I could. I have spell where I can find object. So I could be able to find jacket, and hopefully where jacket is, Batul or Valeno, whoever that is, will also be, unless she has ditched it somewhere.
Well, either way, that would really help. Do you have to be, like, in a certain area? I mean, I know it spells, but I'm not sure of the one that you're talking about.
I'm not going to lie, I haven't actually used it before, so it would be new to me too. But I don't think I need to be in any specific place. I just need some time to prepare it, is all.
Well, that's fine. Well, let's go and, well, wait for Jackal to come back. We'll find somewhere to talk privately.
Oh, yeah. Where did he go?
He went off that way, but well, I'm not sure why, but I'm sure he'll be back in a moment.
If problem, I'm sure he would have told us.
Exactly.
As you're having...
Maybe asking us or something.
So I see Jackal.
Yeah, at the end of the... I was going to say, towards the end of this conversation, you see Jackal kind of turn around back and head towards you, and Athena's turn around as well.
I apologize. I thought I saw Sayer in the alley. It looked a lot like him, but turned out it was just a hobo.
Oh, lovely.
Oh no! Oh, okay.
At this point, Sentry and Sayer, I would say, are now together. You have seen him. So, Sentry, in the distance, we're talking a few feet away from you, darting through the crowd with a few items he's purchased. You see the head of a familiar Sayer come towards you and bobbing out and kind of looks towards your figure.
And you're what running up to me, Sarah, are you?
I don't know what you're doing, sir. Are you running or walking?
Yeah, I'm like brisk pace. I'm not like sprinting.
You're carrying towards Sentry. Yeah.
I just turn and look towards him. And just await for what I'd imagine for Sayer to just spell out.
Oh, you just wait for what I normally do then.
Yeah.
Okay, as soon as I kind of realised that that's what you're doing, I got bloody robbed.
What did you get robbed of?
All my fucking money. Someone nicked it while I was going through the crowds. I just bought stuff as well.
Do you need more money to buy things for the journey ahead, or?
No, I want my money back, Sentry.
Need?
Yes, I need. Help!
I love how every episode Luke has an ethics lesson about robots.
Yeah.
It's normally just say
Need? You need it?
what people need. You may not need money, Sentry, but I bloody need it.
Yeah. It's trying to think what Sentry really do.
Oh my god.
Take me to where you lost your coin pouch. We'll see if we can find it there. Was it in the market, did you say?
Yes.
Show me, and I'll start making my way with Sarah.
Yeah. I'll guide him back to where, you know, when I heard it going off to the left or something, I'll lead him to that spot where I got kind of like frustrated.
Okay.
I could...
It will take probably about 3 or 4 minutes to walk back, if you want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, you can start making your way towards there. I would say at this point, Oaklin, Jackal, and Salvation, you have pretty much reached. If you are carrying on and continuing towards back where the Northlook was, you are just coming out of the alleyway and the nook around. And you hear
is that where Sentry was, or was that somewhere else?
No, Sentry. You and Sentry are now. Hold on, you can see the map, can't you? I was going to do this last session, but I'll probably do it now. Probably make more sense.
No, I can only see the world map of like Tourmaline and Kelvin's
yeah, because you can't see it. Actually, no, you wouldn't know because you wouldn't know the map. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so basically they are on the main strip towards where the centre of the town is.
Right.
You were walking back towards the town where you got your purse robbed, and then they are now at the top of where Sentry was not so long ago. Obviously, where's he going to meet you? So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to walk back towards, I mean, you have no idea of the knowledge of where these people are at the moment.
Well, yeah, we're just going to be carrying on because I don't know that.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be informed of that. But I would say Oaklin, Salvation, and Jackal, you hear and see the familiar upbeat music and hustle and bustle of the Northlook, and you now come round to the corner and you can see the chanting and swishing of glasses and liquid being poured and all sorts. There's the typical fantasy tavern sound effects, if you were.
What do we do now?
Well, can any of you two see a giant steel pole anywhere?
I'm gonna look around Sentry.
Yeah, everyone make a perception check if you like.
Oboe
My
and a
perception,
giant
big
steel
hole.
pole.
Literally, whenever you go to like walk past and you lose your mates, you always look for whoever's the tallest one. That's
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
So,
I got
like,
24.
9.
so with a 24, luckily, with a very high perception roll, Willow, you can just about see a very tall figure that represents Sentry walking away from you.
Well, I found him, and I'll point.
Yeah.
He's heading away, though. Should we go after him?
How far roughly away is he?
Just under 100 feet.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Well, let's go.
Yeah. So you walk out and towards where Sentry is off to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that no problem. So you start walking towards, and I would say just to kind of edge time on a little bit. You are Saya and Sentry. You are reaching the centre of town, and at the point of where Saya had his purse stolen.
as I've mentioned, by the way, I'm moving where my coinage pouch, my herbalism kit's on the left side, so I'm moving my coinage section from my right hip up to my left shoulder.
Okay. Cool.
Just keep a better eye on it.
Yeah. You can do that. No problem. It takes you a second to do it.
Yep. And we're now at the market point.
At the market, and what you see, Sentry, is a because this is the first time you've seen it, about 10 to 12 different market stalls selling all sorts of different things. As mentioned, obviously with Saya, you see bustle of people that you haven't seen for a very long time, and you assume this area is where the main focus of trade has been, especially around Icewind Dale and possibly the 10 Towns himself.
Can I do another investigation check just in case I do hear anything?
What are you doing? Just describe what you're doing. I'll tell you which role.
Trying to hear that familiar sound of.
Okay. That would be a perception check.
Oh, would it be a perception? Would it not be
Yeah.
an investigation?
No.
Okay. I got a 21 with my hearing.
A 21. Okay. Sentry, what are you doing currently?
Now that we're back in this area, I'm turning off. So, did you see who took your pouch, or just hear it afterward?
I didn't see them, did I? I don't think I did.
You didn't get any visual.
Okay. No, I didn't get any visual. No, I didn't. I didn't see them at all. I only just heard my my coin pouch being taken.
How much coinage did you lose?
I had
2 million gold.
oh, yeah, my life savings.
Remember,
24
50 was with me.
24 gold pieces, 5 silver pieces, and 65 copper pieces.
So, how many copper? Sorry.
65.
65. And did you say 55 gold? Sorry.
24 gold.
24. Cool. Okay. Sentry will. He's just gonna. If there's a like central.
Yeah. I mean, in the middle of all of this, you kind of see like a stone monument, and in the stone monument,
Yeah.
you kind of see just a rock formation. It's nothing fancy. It just represents this middle of town, you assume. And on this platform, it's got like different layers of stone, and it just represents the center of the town.
I'll go over to that and just use it as a bit of a vantage point to be able to have a look around.
Are you climbing on?
Yeah, if it looks like it's scalable, I'll climb up it.
Okay.
And just look out for anybody who looks as though they're more excited with coinage than usual.
So you scale it, and it does take you a little bit of a second or two to scale it, because it's quite smooth. There's no real kind of ledges to it. You kind of just like you kind of get on and you pull yourself up, and I wouldn't make you make a check for it because you're pretty sturdy, you can pull yourself up. And as soon as you come to like get the last bit at the top, you kind of see two of the militia kind of look at you and go, "Excuse me, down, please. No climbing."
Can I see from where I am?
See what? Sorry.
Around from where I am.
You can see around you. Yeah, you now climb probably about 7 feet high. So you're now 14 foot. Well, 13, 12 feet high, standing up.
Jesus Christ.
And they're like town's guard militia of this.
Yeah, you've seen them like with intervals through the town as well. So you've seen them posted around town.
I'll let go and hop down.
Okay, yeah.
And facing the two of them. There's been thievery in the marketplace here. My friend over there, he's missing his coin pouch now. Have you seen anybody move away with more excitement?
Excitement? Coin pouch? We get things stolen all the time. We're not investigators. We're just protectors of the land. We don't solve petty arguments. We solve wars and people interrogating this place and fighting. We don't deal with thievery and petty thefts.
Yeah, Ollie, you little bitch.
Did I not get anything from that 21, by the way?
I'll get to you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
And you also stop people climbing on the monument.
Yes. You're causing a distraction and you're making yourself an endangerment of whatever you are to the rest of the citizens here in Brinshanda.
That was brilliant, Luke. Well done.
I was waiting to see if he'd had
You still was, but you won't let me climb on a rock. Oh god.
I just stand there.
Okay. Now, because of this commotion and because the questions asked, I must ask for your papers, please.
I hand them to him.
Yeah. Pass him over, kind of like, does this really over the top kind of like.
Oh yeah.
And he, what name does he read? Which one?
It is Dinglehorn Digby.
And he kind of reads it and goes, "Mr. Digby, please refrain from climbing any of the apparatus you see around here. You are not an acrobat. I can't see that in you, especially with your size and breadth. Please refrain from jumping on things, as you're causing a scene."
I'm thinking what acrobats did. And I'm gonna do a backflip on the monument. Yes.
I'm quite surprised you did
Is
turn around
this
and
you
go,
saying this, or
I
you
don't
thinking this?
It's me doing this.
Okay, so you're going to... Okay.
Do a backflip.
Okay. So,
oh my god.
you turn around after they've spoken to you, because I'm guessing this is immediately, yeah?
Oh, no, yeah, immediately when he says, as you're not an acrobat.
Okay, so you turn around and go back to climb this monument.
Oh, no, just literally straight run. You know where they like... use
Oh
their-
my god.
like,
So you're going to
Standing down.
parkour.
I'm going to jump on the backflip land.
Okay.
You're not
I would like you to make first an acrobatics check.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He's gonna cross some poor child. No.
You already know.
Don't give him ideas.
I would also like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Hell yeah. Now, I get an advantage in this, as this is danger sense, and I'm definitely putting myself in danger. Correct?
Okay, if you wish. Just read danger sense and what that does. Does it say creature, or does it say...
No, yeah,
Oh no.
when things get
That's
by,
how you use this to do a backflip.
Giving you edge from dodge away from danger. You have advantage dexterity saving throws against the effects
Up to you if I get about
you see,
16.
such as traps and spells. To gain benefit, you can't be buying.
up to you.
No, you don't get benefit. You don't get that. It's not a trap or a spell. And it's not otherwise you could really fluke this every single time and you could do anything to do a dexterity saving throw and punch yourself in the face and be like, "Oh, danger!"
Yeah. Imagine it. Make an intelligence check, Sentry. Oh, but I have to think really hard and it's quite dangerous for me to do that.
Dexterity saving throw, straight roll.
Yeah.
16. So you go and basically what you see, Saya, is something very weird. This robotic form with no kind of like facial description just looks at these guards and goes, and then just runs towards this monument. Goes, steps on the first bit of the monument, falls, and then kind of like flips and like puts his hand down, and now he's prone.
Wait, did you actually do a fucking flip?
No, not flip, like corkscrew fall, like sideways, almost like, you know, when someone goes parkour and just like something really shit.
Oh right.
Yeah. At this point, the guards, or the militia, kind of look at you and go, "Hold on, I'm gonna see what they're actually gonna do."
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay, on a 1. Okay. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna... Right. I know what I'm gonna say, 'cause I'm not gonna ruin it just by saying it, okay? 1, 2, Okay. They look at you. They laugh hysterically at what just happened. And they kind of like... one of them looks to one another, and he kind of looks at the other one and goes, "Did you see what a pillock that guy was? Can't even get up. No, he's not worth your time." And they kind of like go, "We'll be keeping an eye on you, weird man. Although you probably have a good career in making people laugh, if that's your thing."
I'm curious what the other option was now.
Hold my hand out for the paper.
They throw it on the floor and just walk off.
Nice.
Dang.
Nice. Now defusing the situation, and they've walked away.
Sentry's gonna kill him later.
I will. I will kill them.
I will throw them through the nearest window.
Javelin.
Well,
Javelin.
When they've laughed and walked away,
Yeah, that's what they pretty much did.
I will climb it.
You're what?
Oh my
When they
god.
climb it again, they're loud, and they walk away.
Yeah, they're kind of like...
Okay,
Go away. Huh?
I'll climb the monument.
We're gonna get fucking
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. They kind of look...
left. Yeah.
Can I still not know
Are
what
you
my
doing this as they're
leaving?
leaving, or doing this when they've left?
Oh no, when they've left, yeah.
Okay. So you kind of like wait a minute or so. As this is happening, Saya, with your keen sense of smell and hearing, you kind of like sit there in the middle, and it's interesting because let's pretend this is an anime for a second. If the camera was looking at you,
Yeah.
it would show your figure as Saya, but in this invisible form, this kind of like wolf shape comes out of you, over the top of you, and you kind of go, and your eyes dilate, and you like look towards, and you go, "It's that way, it's that way, it's there," and it's
Okay.
about 30 feet away from you with that roll.
I sprint to that in that direction.
While this is happening, Sentry's just done the backflip, by the way.
I hear it.
So you see Sentry now climbing this for a second time as the guards are leaving, or about to. And you kind of like, are you going in that direction?
Yeah, I'm fucking legging it.
Yeah,
As soon as I hear it, I'm like,
yeah, so you're legging it in the direction, and it's almost like, because obviously I'll give you advantage on this because of your keen sense of smell and the figure that you are. Obviously you've got this inner sense of this kind of wolf and this sense of smell, and it gets close. It's almost like a radar, like a blip, you know, like on a submarine where it goes bing,
yeah.
bing, 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 and you kind of like smell it around, and you literally feel you're about 5 or 8 feet away from whoever is taking it.
I'm seeing him run off.
You see him run off, yeah.
Oh yeah, you would have seen me fucking legging it. Yeah.
Are you just following? You're not no longer climbing monuments.
No. I see that he's
Yeah.
going.
Take it this way: you're about to like put your arm on it, hand on it, and then you see him. You go, and you just walk off.
Yeah.
Okay, so you run off, and
Oh.
you're now standing in this position, and you're looking around, and you think this thing is close. Would you like to make a perception check?
Yes,
Just a
I was
second.
literally just about to say.
Can I as well?
You
10.
can. Yeah, if you catch up with him, you can make one. So
Yeah, I'll catch
just
up.
a sec,
And
yeah.
just be like,
What did you get?
What do you-
10 and 13 on spell and fury.
Okay. What you see in front of you are five individuals around you doing things, either talking to someone or playing with a ball or whatever it might be doing. So you can see these 5 individuals. There are all humans around you, 3 adults and 2 children.
Right.
The 2 kids are playing in the kind of like muddy area of the sand, kind of like flicking mud at each other and like playing tag and like running around in a circle. One of the 3 adults is part of a smaller group of people talking and dealing possibly in business. And the 2 other figures are 2 female figures, and both of them have conversations with different marketplaces. Who would you like to talk to first, or what are you doing?
Right.
So you
I
got
don't
two,
get
2
any
females,
kind of spell.
1 male, and 2 children.
Yeah,
The
so I
smell,
don't get any kind of smell.
the
Because
smell,
obviously,
the smell has brought you here.
okay, it's just like a general.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a musk now.
with my 23 as well, I can't see which one.
Yeah,
Just so you see what you rolled, 23. So I would say he got there, and you've just run up there, and you're looking around now. You're looking around. With that 23, I would say that you know for a fact that you're looking, basically with your keen kind of like, with your experience possibly with danger and thieving and around Tourmaline back in the day, you're looking for any shifty kind of like movement. With a 23, you definitely see the guy kind of like do that ever so slightly. Say you do not know this information, and that's essentially
Okay.
I'll use the Psi Crystal just to connect with Saya.
Okay.
The gentleman has your coinage, I believe.
Okay. I can't reply back with this. It's just one way, isn't it?
You can.
You can reply with a cypress.
I can.
Yeah.
It's like okay. I say my mind back to him. We'll have to coordinate him so he hasn't got a way out.
The alleyway that we're looking at, Fraser, is it one entrance in, one exit out, or like?
So it's not an alleyway. So you're basically on the edge of this circle of this market square, and there's a few ends of the canvas huts, which some of them are doing business, and the kids are there as well. But you've basically just walked to pretty much the perimeter of this circle of market shops.
Nice.
Okay. How far away is this guy from me?
5 feet.
Like, he's 5 feet.
We don't want to draw any weaponry here unless it's drawn on us, but
I would say sentry because you rolled a 23, quite a substantial roll. You kind of get a glimpse of, obviously you've been told it was a coin purse, and he kind of turns round and like shuffles his stuff, and as you do, you see a slight glimpse of a purse that resembles what Saya was wielding, essentially handling his equipment.
beforehand. Okay, cool. If we go to him, we can apprehend him.
If you think that will work.
With that, I'll walk with Saya to the gentleman.
I'll walk kind of behind him, so because obviously the guy probably knew what I looked like, so I would like be kind of hiding myself behind him so he doesn't get too jittery and run away.
Okay.
And
Are you trying to be sneaky about this?
oh no,
Okay.
I'm raging walking
Yep.
up to him, and when he's within range, I will net his ass.
What are you going to do?
I'm a net his ass.
You're going
with
to
an-
net him?
Net his ass.
Okay, is there any checks or saves I need to make?
I need to try and net him. Let me see.
As you're walking towards him,
Yeah, go.
he sees you because you're not being sneaky about it.
That's cool.
So I would say that he is literally being possibly apprehended by this huge metal figure, and he's about to bolt by the looks of things.
Oh yeah.
So do whatever you need to do very quickly.
Do I notice that he's about to bolt?
Yes, you do. Both of you see it.
Oh no.
That's a 9.
That's a 9. That's 1 off his armor class.
Oh fuck! Oh, that's so good.
So you throw the net, and he kind of sees you coming, and he basically kind of like almost kind of like belly dives out of the way, and then kind of like sprints or goes to sprint.
As soon as I see him start sprinting, I'm gonna sprint after him and shout, "Stop thief!" Like so people can maybe like help.
Okay, yeah. So you actually shout "Stop thief" and you point at him.
Yeah.
And he is running and running, and he kind of like turns around, and then what you see is basically the back end of him kind of like turn around to look towards Sentry, see if he's throwing anything else. He turns around and then he gets side tackled by a militia and falls to the ground as this dust kind of like pops up with this snow kind of like dent in the ground. And one of the militia kind of like helps himself up and goes, "It's you again."
So the bloke's on the floor.
He's now on the floor and he's quickly got himself up. He's kind of like ready for him, almost to take him down again. And he goes, "Did you say thief?
Yes, he stole my money.
Prove this."
That purse I've got. I can tell you exactly how much is in there.
And how much is in there?
24 gold, 5 silver pieces, and 65 copper pieces.
He kind of like kicks this guy, or places a foot on his kind of stomach area, and kind of grabs this purse and kind of empties it out on his kind of glove as it jingles on that down. And he goes, and looks at you and looks back at it and goes, "So there is. This belongs to you."
And I take it back and put it in my bag. Thank you very much.
And he kind of like looks towards the figure on the ground and goes, "You're going to have a very uncomfortable night. And you, stay out of trouble."
I will. Thank you.
Okay? And tell your friend to stop climbing stuff.
I just point towards the militiaman. I'm as much of an acrobat as you are an investigator. Take care of him, and I'll walk back towards the blacksmith.
At this point, yeah, he kind of like looks at you and goes, "What?" And then kind of like drags him. And this guy's kind of like trying to tug away, and he goes, "Get it, come here." And he kind of like restrains him with shackles on the back. While this is happening, what are you guys doing? Are you just making your way straight to the market?
While we're making
So Salvation, Oakland, and Jackal.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think we were making our way.
You're making your way to the market.
Sentry,
Yeah.
and obviously we'll most probably see him dart off.
Yeah.
So we're just a bit like,
So I would say, at this point, just at the point of him taking him down, that's where you arrive. So you see him with the perception. You see his figure in the crowd, but you're not sure what's going on. At this point, you would see kind of a commotion gathering around in a smaller semicircle almost around what's going on, and the rest of you would hear like muttered voices like, "Oh, did that just happen?" And you hear like, "Oh, who is that? What's that? What's just happened?" And you kind of hear a kind of like commotion go around.
Would they hear me shout "Stop thief"?
Yeah.
Would they?
Actually, I would say, it's quite busy down here. And I wouldn't say they were at that point. I would say they were just out that range. So at the point where he's taking him down, that's where they come in, and that's where you can hear him.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what you three guys are seeing is a semicircle of commotion. You see Sentry's figure. What you do?
I'm gonna send a message to Sentry.
Okay.
Go. Oh, what's happening? Everything okay?
Sayer's coin pouch was poached, but he's now got his coinage back, Oakland.
Oh, the sass.
Ouch.
Oakland.
Well, they're over there. Sounds like they were trying to get a thief of some sort.
Yeah, why am I
Don't
not
think
surprised they
Sentry's
got
too
themselves
happy.
into trouble?
Well,
We should get over and see if they are okay.
yeah, let's go and grab them and then find somewhere off the.
Missed the last bit what you said there. Okay.
Yeah, what was the last bit?
Oh
yes, of course.
On the goat now, guys. Let's just go over and find a safe location to talk.
This sounds like a good idea.
Okay, and as you kind of guys gather around for the second time and possibly wishing that Saya never went off on his own, you kind of meet up with one another and seeing, now you see Oakland, Salvation and Jackal, you see each other, but on your way there you see the militia tugging away, this kind of like guy with very long blonde scraggly hair and kind of an unshaven beard, very horrible dirty trench coat, and kind of getting shuffled away and goes, wasn't me, wasn't kind of like trying to scramble away as you guys come together. Sentry, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. 19. A familiar feeling comes over you as your connection with Saya through the Psi Crystal kind of like connects. And what happens is you get this kind of like glitch, almost like where you're looking and it goes and it kind of like, and nothing happens.
I don't know. Only Sentry notices this?
This experience is happening within Sentry. Yeah. It's not very outer experience. It's very much inside what's going on.
Okay. Cool. I just thought because we were connected at that point. So.
No. In terms of telecommunication, yes. In terms of feelings, emotions, no.
Yeah.
With that as well. Actually, no. No, because it'll be out of range for a bit. Yeah, I'll unconnect myself from Saya.
Okay.
And head towards the rest of the group then.
Yeah. And
yeah, I'll follow.
You meet up with everyone, and everyone's got a different look on their face when they come back. Say you are completely unaware what's happened with the whole Beldora situation, and where they've been and what they've been up to. But at this point, I'm going to say we're going to take a short break because I need a drink.
Cool.
So you're up. The LBRB. Ready, Ollie? Ready, Ollie? Ready, Ollie? Ah, look at that magic. Hey,
Holy shit!
Hey, everyone. Alrighty then. Hi everyone, we're back. Quick break. Yeah. Is everyone ready to start again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because I'm looking at two pictures and I need to know if those two pictures have people behind them going, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready. Oh, well, I am. I
Jackal
no
here,
idea about- I don't know why I answered for
I am
Jackal.
here.
Oh, he's somewhere. Are you having a shit or something?
Jesus Christ.
I'm in the loft. I don't have toilets in the loft.
Not
I
yet.
mean,
What are you doing in the loft?
That's where he sleeps. No,
Room
that's where his room is.
Anywho, back to D&D. The party managed to find themselves heading towards the centre of Bryn Shander to originally make some purchases and ended up making an arrest. With the information from Beldora, also known as Dedilala, or D, or whatever you're calling her. She
The big day.
informed you that there might be some more information in the Northlook, and with a side visit from Quell, Jackal obviously had a bit of an encounter there as well. But Saya, you are unaware of everything that has gone on, and you are now finding yourself with the rest of the party. The hustle and bustle around you. the hustle and bustle around you with all the different kind of businesses going on at this point. In terms of trading, you can hear the workshop which you visited earlier, and all sorts of conversations are happening in this non-COVID world where people can do that. So yeah, everyone's having conversations, and you guys have just met in the middle of this kind of like madness. What would you like to do?
Go up to them. Where were you guys then?
Well, got quite a bit of information. I think we need to go a bit more private.
You missed a lot.
Okay.
Things got pretty weird.
Yeah.
Hey, I like weird.
Not good weird.
I like not good weird.
Well, I'm glad someone's optimistic.
Should we find somewhere? I mean,
Is there like a tavern or like a quiet spot somewhere? Not the North Look. I don't want to go there yet. That sounds like a whole can of worms.
Investigation check to find a place we can talk. Or perception check.
Yeah.
You can make a perception, and to be honest with you, obviously being a group and deciding on this, I won't make you roll because it's not difficult to see. You can step out of the perimeter of the circle of the market square, or market circle in this case, and just off to one of the side buildings from where you've came. Round the buildings themselves, there's not much activity, and you can find a corner next to there's a hay bale, or some hay bales next to some horses. You kind of like go over there and you can find a quiet spot, or quieter anyway.
Nope. So are we there now, or are we making our way there?
I mean, you've all seen this as a group. It's up to you whether you want to go.
That looks like a good place. Shall we head over there?
Just wherever is out of the sight of people and out of hearing range as well.
Well, it's...
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't see anyone over there, so...
Cool.
Yeah, you make your way over there, no issue.
Cool. So, what went down?
Well, who wants to go first? I mean, Jacko?
Oh.
Hello,
He's behind the hay bale, like.
He pops his head out.
I'll just cross my arms and lean against the wall.
We're in deep shit.
Where aren't we?
No, but deeper than like donkey, but not as deep as elephant.
Just tell me what it is, please.
Wow. Long story short, just blurt out there. We met Beldora, what all was going on about, and Beldora wasn't who she said she was. Who told us Batul who she said she was. Which is confusing and also complicated.
I feel like she was pretty shifty anyway, so there was something going on, but I didn't expect that.
I swear it doesn't make sense though.
There
We met...
did...
Oh, carry on.
No, you go.
Oh no, go.
It's more complicated than that. It's as Willow, or is that what you still want me to call you?
I'll get to that.
Okay, I'll just stick with that for now. As she said, it is things are not adding up. Things are not making sense, and we do not know quite who to believe or what is going on. Things got a little confusing. We went in, she read our fortunes. I will let Jackal and Willow share if they want to on theirs, but on mine she kind of panicked and dragged us into the back room, then turned into someone completely different and tell us that Batul is actually very powerful archmage from Arcane Brotherhood, which not makes sense because Batul was after Arcane Brotherhood, and I cast spell on her that I am sure worked. That she should not have been able to get around. So we don't know. Everything is confusing. Everything is fucked, but we're just not quite sure how fucked or fucked in what way yet.
How do you know that the person who told you all this wasn't lying?
Well,
That's
that's what I said.
That's where it's interesting. You see, the spell she was casting to see our future is a spell called Foresight. A very powerful spell that not even I can fully understand as of yet.
Oh,
Which
That
is
sounds a little arch-magey.
That's where it's complicated, because I was really confused on how she could cast it more than once as well. And I don't know, it's just... I've never seen anyone cast that before. Not in a very long time, that is.
Was there anything in that room that she took you in that would maybe suggest that she is lying and is this archmage of yours? She could easily just be doing this to get someone like Batul to shut the hell up so we could get rid of her.
I don't know, but when we were in there, she seemed to have quite a lot of supplies for things that I would... Supplies for spell, etc. But
well, that's sus. The other thing, the Batul is gone. We walked in, and after this whole fortune-y thing, Batul was just not there anymore. So we do not know where if she is.
Sayers kind of just being thought for a second. So I feel like we're not believing either of these stories fully. I feel like we're in a 50-50 split on who to believe right now.
Pretty much.
Well, that's helpful. Do we have any objectives we have to do next to at least start to find out the truth?
well, I don't really know, because we agreed to go up north, but then we did the Archmage business. Unless anything else pops up in the pipeline, I don't really know. But if the Archmage is the Dahlia, which
You're gonna have
is
to talk louder.
Dahlia, if that really is who she is, 'cause when she transformed, she went to this human, blonde-haired human woman with fine silks that I noticed as well, which seems a little bit off for someone living in that area, but who am I to say? Well,
That's why I think she's not from that area. If you're thinking that's really odd for her to have that if she did live there.
Well, I don't know, because I've not met a lot of people from the same faction as us, so...
That's true.
Jackal's the only person.
What is this faction, by the way? I saw the daggers, but I was not really sure what was going on, and I didn't want to ask in front of her, because I'm still not sure on the whole who to trust thing.
Well... Jackal?
I think you're going to be the best one to explain this, Willow.
The Harpers are a organisation that I joined. They believe in, obviously, one can never have too much power or information. They believe in peace and prosperity in a way, and trying to make things a little bit more balanced on the scales, if you want to say it like. Especially with these, Arcane Brotherhood and all the shiftiness that's going on there. Well, as Beldora liked to tell everything to someone who wasn't part of the Harpers, which I found very strange. That's basically what it is. They're tracking them, especially the Arcane Brotherhood, down to hopefully try and purge of this, I don't know, illness in the land, if you want to put it like that. If that makes any sense.
I see. So, you found the way that she behaved to be unusual for someone of your order?
Well, I've never really met another person. I'm not sure if you have, Jackal, but I've only met you. And But I don't know, she seemed very off. She seemed to know what we were going to say before we even said it, and there was not a lot of emotion in her face, which I found rather strange for someone who was shocked. She seemed very nervous, but that's where I can't quite pinpoint why. Whether she
Sounds
wanted
very
to scurry
odd,
on, or whether she was hiding something. I couldn't quite pin on that.
Something definitely feels wrong.
Well,
You don't know.
Sorry.
You don't know of any other of these harpers nearby that we could ask for help, do you?
Not myself, no. The only other person I know is no longer here, so... Don't know anyone else. Unless you do, Jackie. I'm not sure if you've met anyone else.
Literally no one. You know how the Harpers work, Willow. I mean, everyone lays low. Which
Exactly.
was lucky enough that we were able to
That's
find
what's
Eddie.
odd. She
Did
was
act strangely.
She was very open to salvation about the Harpers. Usually that normally doesn't happen.
We were part of the Brotherhood. She was very open for someone who wouldn't exactly know.
Well, she did use the foresight spell on us, so she would have easily been able to obtain that information, which is where I kind of regret sitting down.
Clin and Jackal, very quickly, sorry to interrupt this conversation. You knew your source of information. You are aware of only one other Harper, which was in Prince Shanda. You have been told she is a trusted member called Beldora, and you have also been told that she is almost like, I mean, if you look at it as a kind of management scheme, she's probably like a supervisor, Stayers. That's what you've been told who the contact was or where she can be found.
Well, I don't know what else to say about it really, but we're in a lot of shit.
I just think we should start at least following what she said, and if since we know that something's up, we have to be on our toes. We can't just sit here and do nothing. We might as well just keep moving forward. If this person is so dangerous, there's no point in just leaving it.
Well, we're not going to sit and do nothing, but we're just not sure of what is best to do next, because we are... Whoever these archmages, she goes by the name of Velen, by the way. We don't know who she is masquerading as, so... We are in a bit of a hard place, because if she is as powerful as she says she is, if this Baldora, whatever, whoever she is, then we could be in a lot of trouble. And if she really was masquerading as Batul, then I am slightly worried as to what she knows and what we have said in front of her, and to what end she was. But if she was pretending to be Batul, I have known Batul my whole life, so why appear as someone from my life? I do not understand.
That's where I think the temples come in. They're looking for this artifact near the Raven's Rock, which holds temples and civilizations outside by the spine of the mountains and stuff, so it makes perfect sense. Your connection to the temple, you knew nothing of your temple. They wouldn't tell you anything, they kept you hidden. But then Batul was sent off on some sort of mission regarding the temple. Doesn't it all just add up a little bit, and it's a little bit odd as well? She could have been manipulating her, if not, Batul may have been on the wrong side of the string here.
If it actually was Batul, then whatever artifact it is, she would have known. And she'd have known that I knew nothing. I am a useless person to chase in this if they are trying to find something in the temple. I was only allowed in like 2 rooms, and one of them was for eating in.
Well, did she give you any information on what you should do next about this mage?
Well, she said just to get information, really. Apparently she wears face coverings like eye patches and stuff. She's always covered. They're unsure of weaknesses, but they did give us some potions to possibly help, which is, I believe, healing and something to do with paralysis. So,
Would
location?
Salvation be able to check those potions?
Yeah, I mean, by now, hopefully, Oakland, you've put it in your inventory, a potion of healing and a potion of...
Yeah. I don't
it's a
have
potion of
specific
vitality.
name.
vitality.
Vitality.
Vitality
Very
drink.
expensive.
If you want to inspect these bottles, you can make either Arcana or Intelligence roll. Up to you.
Let's have a nosy.
A Arcana. It's higher.
Uh,
That's a 21.
For which one?
Arcana.
Arcana, yeah. Salvation, are you making a roll too?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that kind of covers it, but I'll make one just in case. Yeah, now 15.
Okay. So basically, you kind of like, with your background knowledge, your vast knowledge of magics and potions within magics and things like that, your small kind of like read up on alchemy, they're not complex potions to make. And they're more of an elixir status, so they're more made by a chemist rather than a mage or a wizard. But you kind of like look into the viscosity and the kind of colour of it, and you swirl it round, and you've seen some of these before, and it's very convincing. Without trying it, you won't know.
Well, yeah, we do have a greater healing potion here, which is very handy. And a potion of vitality, if anyone wants it.
You hang on to those. It's fine by me. And I hope the others too. I don't think I am going to be drinking those anytime soon. Just in case. Like, they look fine, but I'm just still a little wary. I'm not used to not trusting people like this. I'm feeling a little out of my depth.
I mean, I've got some shopping I need to do anyway, so I think it'd probably be best if you hang on to those potions.
I'll keep a hold of them. They might come in handy.
Any locations in particular she mentioned we should have a look around?
Pardon?
Any locations she mentioned that we should take a look around to find any information? Nothing.
No. She just said that she's been here, there, everywhere. Basically, she's a... Oh, what did she say? Necromancer. That's what she is. So she studies in the necromantic area, and she's... Well, they don't know how long she's been alive for, because apparently she's been taking the souls of others to use it as her own life game. I'm not sure if that helps.
This is other weird thing. Because at temple, as far as I knew, I was only one studying necromantic magic. Everybody else was being made to study history and politics, a lot of politics. I was never really interested in any of that. But Mitron, because I knew a little bit of healing already when I got there, we touched on little bits of that. You know, the little bits of healing and the little things that I can do. That's basically necromancy, not like dead body stuff. Not that. Well, they interesting, but anyway, that whole other thing. But I don't. It just nothing adding up. Everything seemed off. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Would it be worth going back to her and seeing what... You said she was a fortune teller? Maybe I cross paths with this archmage in my future. Maybe that'll get some information.
I mean, it's up to you, but I don't trust her at all.
No.
To be fair, there's not a lot of people that you can trust these days, and I know that I was advised to speak to her, but I don't know, something just doesn't seem right.
I got the idea that the spell, it could tell a lot, not just future by the sounds of it, but I have feeling if you went, especially if you went alone, she would know you were with us, and then she might dispose of you or something if she really is shady. So I would not go there if I were you. We do not want to lose you.
Of course I
No,
wouldn't go.
well, even with I just Oh, guys, I don't know.
It's okay.
Or we could just say fuck it and go up north.
We could do. It's
But guys, what about Batul? What if she was taken? What if she is dead in a ditch somewhere?
well.
I need
if
to find
the
her.
wizard's always up north, he might be able to help us, or they might be able to.
But he's so
They may
far
know if this
away.
archmage.
But there is so much in between and so many risks. I just... And on all the time
Anything
we are
we do
away,
will
something
have
could
a
happen to the
risk.
real Batul.
Everything we do will have a risk. There is not
Then-
one option without any risks.
Of course, but
But then you got to ask the question: why did Batul leave? If it was her,
what
maybe
if
she was
didn't
saving her own
leave?
skin. Because she did say that she needed to be quick, so maybe she had business to do elsewhere. I'm not sure. Did she say anything to you about leaving?
No,
Or-
well, she said that she would pass the enchanter just because she was feeling a little uncomfortable in the group, but that's it. That's all she said. She wouldn't leave without saying goodbye, not me. We have
Then
been at each
probably
other's
not her.
sides since we were, children. For so many years, she was my only friend. There is no way that she would leave without saying goodbye. There is no way that she would leave like this. I don't understand. I know she was acting strange, but this is just... This is something else. There is something else going on, and I need to find the real her.
Well, hopefully tomorrow you'll be able to locate my jacket and maybe be able to find her.
Yes,
It's our first
yes.
lead.
Yes, we do that.
Well, should we find somewhere to stay overnight then in that case?
Yes.
Good plan. Can Salvation take a look around? Just make sure that we're still not being listened to.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Eh, 15.
The 15, you kind of look around. There's in front of you. There's a horse just munching on some hay, strapped up to a you would assume a house or a farm or a small barnyard, maybe attached to a what looks like a few sheds. Besides that, some hay, just you guys and just the market. There's no one really looking in.
God, what a day it's been.
From
That's one way to put it.
what we understand, the battle that we saw, you mentioned that you'd questioned her further from also talking to her as well. Salvation.
I did.
However, she came back alone to the tent.
Oh no, you do not think something could have happened in between that time? No, because I explained to Willow before, when we tried to get into Tarkos, we were coming up with fake names, to get into Sandy Lottery because she had not been in before. So she did not have papers, that is why she could not get in. But the fake name she came up with was Velen, which is the same name as this mage. So...
It's conspicuous, isn't it?
Just a bit. I don't know whether that was some kind of signal or if she was just rubbing our noses in it. I don't know. It just seems
How
so strange.
certain are you that the spell you used gave truth?
How certain am I, DM?
Know if it doesn't work.
Do I, DM?
What do you think that the Stone of Truth worked?
Yes.
With your ability and your kind of arcane knowledge and the way that your powers work, you were 100% sure that it made a connection. Because it's a feeling you have with that kind of power. The spell worked.
No, I am 100% certain that spell, it worked. I could feel it. She let me cast it on her.
You sure there isn't any ridiculous spell that you don't know about that could, resist it?
The only
From
spell I know of that can possibly do that, you would see them cast that spell. I don't think there would be any way for her to do it without Salvation noticing.
Was she hiding her hands at all when it happened?
No,
And
I kind of had her at sword point, so no.
Oh, okay. Well, that clears that up.
Oakland, make a Arcana check for me, secondary.
Another one. Okay. Arcana. That is a natural 20!
A natural 20. Well, you
That's
needed a very
great.
high roll for this information that I'm going to give you just in case. As Salvation mentioned about spells going through and about how spells can go through but also not go through. With the natural 20, there are enchantments, items, rings, cloaks, circlets, braces, all sorts of things that you can wear that can be enchanted with certain abilities to not stop spells but put a barrier around them to make the magic user not aware that they are being under a spell or the spell's worked and still not have... It's kind of a counter spell but not. It just absorbs into this ring or whatever it might be. And
Are they rare?
And sometimes this enchantment works once, sometimes it works twice, sometimes it takes in the magic or the power or the energy. So you're aware that things like that do exist.
Ooh, well.
You're not sure if it is that, but you're aware of things that I could cast Cure Wounds on you, and you have this. The spell goes through, but nothing happens. It is absorbed by the item.
So the spell could have gone through, but she could have just blatantly lied if she did have an item like that.
Salvation, make a history check.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Salvation, do you
The only
remember?
items that we saw on a person I remember was the
12.
Okay, with a 12, I mean,
Sorry.
it's not a high AC. This realistically, DC. So realistically, when you cast the spell on her, you did realise a decoloration and cloud in her eyes. That was very obvious. Whether that was the spell or something else, you're not sure.
So maybe you're saying there was like a shimmer behind her eyes.
It was like a glisten, like looking into glasses. You know when you look at the sheen of glasses. And
Would I be able
you
to,
not
like,
being
maybe
practiced in that spell as much as you want to be, you're not sure if that's the spell. You're not sure if that was supposed to happen. When it comes to the practice of the arcane, even if you've used the spell a million times, it acts differently on different people. If you burn someone, they burn differently. If you heal someone, they heal differently. It's not the same on everyone else. It looks the same, but it's not always the same result.
DM.
Would I be able to remember if she had any kind of jewelry on, like you said, like a ring or a bracelet or anything, or would that just
The only jewelry she had on her description was the beaded necklace.
could that come underneath those kind of items?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything can be enchanted.
Anything. Oh,
Would-
right.
Would Salvation remember? Would that be a significant necklace that she'd remember she was wearing the last time she saw her
With her
prior to campaign?
Or is it new?
with her growing
Is it what you do growing up kind of thing?
up, with a 12
Yeah.
with a history check, with her growing up, she didn't wear any jewellery. And only recently you would probably have noticed this. She did wear jewellery from time to time that she's found or stolen in a cheeky fashion, not a malicious fashion.
Interesting.
But it's jewellery. People wear jewellery all the time.
It's right now.
DM,
Yes.
can I make some kind of check to perhaps recall something from a few days ago?
What would you like to check?
I would like to know if the morning we woke up in the Dwarven City, you mentioned Batul having a bit of a glow about her.
Mhm.
I would like to recall if Salvation felt anything different that morning.
What do
If
you
she
mean?
would remember feeling drained at all that morning. If she would have woken up feeling a bit groggy or something.
No, that morning she felt amazing. The fact that she was well fed and well rested, but the glow wasn't so much of a metaphorical stance. It was almost like emulating power. Like you felt this kind of like, oh wow.
No, did salvation feel groggy or anything?
Oh, salvation, no.
Yeah, no,
As
did
in, like,
salvation?
anyone drained, you mean?
Yeah, basically is what I'm getting
No,
at.
you didn't. You felt exactly the same.
Okay.
And just to clear it as well, every single night, I hear and see all.
Yeah.
She never woke up like re-altered or disguised herself or any incantation or murmurings or anything.
The only night you realised something was the strange noises coming, or whispers, or something coming in the wind in the dwarven dome accommodation.
Oh shit!
That we mentioned. You know this anyway because you experienced it. The other nights you've been with her, nothing's happened. No noises, no nothing.
You're on mute.
Put together, but at the same time we're walking further away. I just can't put my finger on it. And I feel like we're just going to be going in circles. So I'd say probably tomorrow, Salvation. You cast that spell, and hopefully we might be able to locate her. Unless she's already skedaddled, then I guess we can't do anything. It's worth a try.
That will tell us more. I feel like we are missing vital piece of information that we need to find. Is it worth going to the Northlook?
Maybe. I mean,
There
if
is
the spell
other-
doesn't work, we'll have to just pick a direction and walk, really.
The tavern that we walked beside, Artul mentioned we shouldn't go in there. That's where Maid had been, correct?
It is the one I was mentioning.
Is it worth
What do you guys think?
Do not care for this mage at current. The wizard up north is where I'd wish to go. The order that Buck and Oakland from keep information between each other and themselves. I will head north.
I honestly agree.
He's probably got a point. I mean, the powerful archmage, I don't think any of us are quite capable of taking on, so I say we probably take information as we go, act on it as we please, but at this current time, I don't think, personally myself, I do terrible against an archmage, so yeah.
Maybe by the time we get back, we'll have enough experience and knowledge.
Well, you never know, the wizard that we might find up north may know about it. If
Guys,
wizard.
Guys, there is problem with that plan. If there really has been a powerful archmage disguising herself as Batul this whole time, then she knows where we are going. She knows what we are going to do. So, wouldn't she just follow us and dispose of us in the middle of the tundra where they will never find our bodies?
Well, if she was that much of a powerful archmage, she could do it now and get away easily.
Well, she wouldn't have need to before. She would have reason now because we know who she is. We are a threat now.
We know that we know that information.
It makes no difference.
Yeah. It's
Either-
we're gonna have to fight them at some point
Either
anyway.
we would go
I'd rather
to
do
the
it later.
rocky place for the artifact, and as you say, she would follow us and kill us in the tundra, or we would head north to the wizard and she would follow us and kill us in the tundra. So
Or
either
we would fight her here, and then they would kill us here.
we either
What?
sit here or go north. But this winter is not to stay, and so neither am I.
I just do not think it's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea to find her here right now either. Like
If
she would
this-
kill us.
But this mage, if she really was disguising herself as Batul, then why would she lead us to the one person who would expose her? That doesn't make sense.
That's why I'm trying to figure it out, but we don't know the information fully. Batul could be Batul. And maybe we're being deceived by someone else, but we can't really be certain. We need all the facts.
But what if she's in danger?
Being kept out of the loop on information is difficult.
Yeah, there's not much.
Batul is in danger, and like the others are saying, I mean, what can we do? Where can we start? We've been to like 3-4 different cities in the past week. I think traveling up north, as people are saying, we can get the best information we can, and if we find Batul on the way, then, you know, maybe we can do our best to save her, but just looking around cluelessly isn't going to really help much right now, I don't think.
Yeah.
At
What
least that's
time
what
is
I'm
it roughly?
So
How long have you been doing this for?
so you left quite early in the morning to Bryn Shander, which was 2 hours journey. And then you made it within the city itself. You've done obviously a few walking abouts, going to Beldora's place, having a conversation over there. I'd say it's probably been about 3.5 hours ish. You're reaching the 4-hour mark, and in about half an hour time, probably going to get a bit dark. You'll see the familiar Aurora Borealis.
So
Say again, sorry?
So you say it's probably roughly about midday.
It's getting towards midday.
Cool.
Well, you would know
Well-
this. It's 11:06.
Cool. 11:06.
horribly specific.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Key mind feat. It's part of the key mind feat. You know exactly what time of day it is.
Well, I just want to make something clear. I just want to apologise to you all for, I'd say, deceiving my name. My real name is Oakland. Oaklandine for long purposes, but just Oakland for short. This is my actual voice. The reason I was pulling on a fake name was mainly to stay out of ear, sight, everything from my family, who are looking for me, in a way. So I do apologise to those who trusted me in that sort of way, and hope I can make it up to you.
I mean, hey, Willow, I know you as Willow, so I'm just gonna keep calling you that, to be honest. If it's a name you want to be called because of hiding purposes, I don't have any problems with that.
I think at this point, there's been stuff put onto my shoulders I didn't expect to put there, so I've already got a huge target on my back, and they probably already know who I am, so I don't think there's any hiding anymore.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Jackal.
The reason I'm here is to find my brother, who his name's
DM.
Oh, sorry, carry on the conversation. Sorry, I thought you finished.
No, it's fine, go on.
No.
While this conversation is going on and you're listening to Oakland, it's a very big change for you. You've hung around with Willow for a very long time, as she's been your almost right-hand woman for a short period of time. And to learn this information is shocking, but clever, impressive, but shocking.
Yeah, Jackal definitely acknowledges this factor, but he's not addressing it right now. For the reasons. Oh, why? Yeah, I haven't just forgotten about it.
Sorry, Oakland, for
It'll come up later.
interrupting the brother speech. I thought you finished then. I was like, I'll jump in here, but obviously you can carry on.
Basically, all Say is saying is that he's not mad about it. People do that. People have to hide things. It's fine.
It's just
Doesn't make
something
any
that I've had to do to survive. I'm sure, Saya, you would agree.
Oh yeah, I know how that feels.
But the reason I'm here, and I'm hoping you guys may help, is I'm looking for my brother. I split off with him God knows how long ago, actually. It's been a while. But that's the reason I'm out here. I'm looking for him.
As soon as you're looking for someone, Saya kind of grips the pelt on his waist, and he says, "Yeah, I get that."
Can't make an insight check.
To who?
Nah.
No, you're not allowed. I'm joking.
Incite what are you inciting?
No, you're not allowed. Not a vibe.
Wait, what are you inciting, Sentry?
Looking for brother. Overall composure.
Okay. What did you roll?
21.
21. With the 21, you. I mean, do you want me to answer this? Okay, or do you want?
Yeah, sure.
There is a definite worry in her face, in the fact that this is, with a 21, you could tell that this trauma has been going on for a while, and the fact that you guys, or coming out to you guys with this information for the first time, you hear a voice crack a little bit, in terms of like, it's like a very deep trauma. Being absolutely truthful.
Just out of curiosity as well. And I know it's a while back, so probably doesn't make a difference. But when we were at the snow igloo, and I had pushed Willow into the snow and asked her, "Are you Willow?" Did I get any inkling at all? Though?
So from the time you had that conflict, you pushed her in. What did you say to her?
I pushed her down and.
Oh, you asked if she was Willow because of what you saw.
Yeah.
What are you asking, sorry?
Did I gain any inkling? Like, was there a slight begrudging there, or was it that she fully believed herself as Willow then?
I think with the kind of the way it was played out, in terms of you were asking if she was herself, as in she wasn't disguising herself as anyone. She is Willow because she's made to believe her name is Willow. She's not meant to. It's like calling me another name, but I know I'm that name, so it's a difficult one.
Cool, yeah.
You definitely, in that situation, it was definitely a tense moment, and I would say that what Sentry felt probably was a sense of fear, but also unknowing what to say at that point. So you're unsure is probably the best way. Even if you rolled high at that point, you don't know this information that she was Oakland. So I mean, now thinking about it, possibly worth inquiring into. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Too. The shops are closed, so we need to gather up some of our resources and such.
It's a good idea, Sentry. I need to go get some new armor, I think.
I need paper.
Did you go to the Black Sword, so was there anything good there, or should we find another?
I mean, we could go back there if you really wanted to. I got everything I wanted.
I'll step away from the wall and head towards one of the stalls, if they don't look particularly busy at a time, and just approach to ask.
I will go to a store that has paper and ink, and then I'll head and try and find a nearest library or a place of knowledge.
okay, so what are you guys doing? So Oaklyn is trying to find ink and parchment.
Yeah.
Sentry, you're trying to find a empty stall.
Yeah. Inquire as to the local area, see if there's any other shops of interest for armament supplies.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything else?
I'm going
I'll
to
follow
an
Sentry.
armor
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow Sentry.
Salvation would like to attempt to slip away from the group.
Okay. You tell me when, and then we'll make rolls.
Okay.
Jackal, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go find some armor.
Armor, okay. Just so you know, in terms of armaments and the way that blacksmiths work and making things, you already have armor on you that you are wearing in terms of that gives you the properties of a +2, +1 AC, +5 AC, whatever it might be. If your aim is to improve that, then it's a job of improving what you've got, or trying to find something that is an advanced version of what you need.
Yeah, that's cool. I've
yeah.
already got things in mind.
Yeah, cool. I was just making that aware, because obviously sometimes you hear blacksmith, you go, oh, I could get +2, and it's like, nah, it's just a short sword, mate. But yeah. So I would say, for the purposes of the first bit, sentry, you're looking for an empty or an empty-ish stall.
Yeah, local.
The vegetable stall is pretty much running out, as it's probably the most popular and has been for a very long time. They are starting to bring in their buckets and barrels and starting to empty that out, so you can head towards them if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, and Sayre is following you. Oakland, you know what you need, and it's not difficult to find a place with ink and parchment. And in fact, some of the stalls may sell them, so it just might be worth inquiring just to see what's what.
Cool.
Jackal, what did you say you were doing again? Just finding armor. Okay, and again, black iron blades, probably the best place to go.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll go to Sentry first. Sentry, Sayre is following you. You break off from the crowd, from your little group, and go into this kind of like area where less people are now, because it's kind of closing down. You see this, it's still hooded up, quite short elven woman. You can see by her ears just poking out kind of a side hood there. Long black hair, very beautiful face, beady eyes, wrapped up and kind of like going through some thyme and rosemary and just picking them out. And she goes, "Hello there. What can I do you for?"
Pleasure to meet you. It's Central John. Amazing vegetable stand you have. Are you a
yes.
local here?
Yes, vegetables have been in my family for years. Sorry, what did you say?
Are you you're a local to here? Are you?
Yes, I live in Brinshanda.
The taverns and shops. If you could recommend a tavern, supply shop, and armaments, where would you suggest?
She kind of gives a little chuckle and goes, "Well, the best tavern in town is the Northlook. You probably passed it on the way in. What supplies are you after exactly? I know all these patrons around here, especially the market owners."
Predominantly gear for lantern light, such caltrops and metal assortments. I'm not sure for my companion here. Point towards Sayre, in case you need anything else.
I can't think of anything unless you could think of something.
Also, is there another tavern? The place looked fairly busy when we last went in.
Well, to answer your first question, Victor, just down there, he can sort you out with any needs for oil and lightements and lanterns. Is that what you said?
Yes, yeah, one that doesn't go out in the wind here like the torches.
Ah, yes. He uses, probably in this weather, and it sounds like you're not from round here because you would know. They use the whale oil to light the lanterns, and they are quite sturdy. So you must go speak to Victor for that. And you can pick up that, not a problem. And the Northlook have, they have musicians there, yes. They play every other hour in the day to keep the patrons happy and lively in these dire times. This place was much happier as I've been here most of my life. But now the frost has claimed us, and she kind of like looked a bit sad at that point, and then kind of like shot up and was like just almost kind of like was unaware she was doing it, and she came back into it. She was just like, anyway, go speak to Victor. He can help you, unless you want to buy some rosemary.
No, many thanks. What was your name? Sorry.
My name's Alin. Nice to meet you.
I'll just reach over to some of the rosemary. Did you say there was?
Yeah, there's rosemary and thyme. She's got both in the hands, and she's like plucking them out and putting them in baskets and arranging them.
I'll just run my hand through some of it. Look back up.
Okay.
She
kind of like stops and goes.
Let it just fall back through my hand back into the basket. The sunshine will be back. Thank you, and I'll head back.
She kind of like
towards-
is totally speechless to what you just said. She just looks at you like, and then she kind of like carries on, but quite slowly. And Victor was a stall just probably about 10 feet away from her, and you can see lanterns and rope, all sorts of like outdoor gear. You can see boots, things like that for people venturing out of the city. And you can walk over to Victor.
Hell yeah, go to Victor.
Okay, at this point, Oaklin, you're on the search for parchment and ink.
Yeah.
Okay, how much do you need?
Sorry, I was writing notes of things I was doing and needing and stuff. So I need
Ink and paper as much as I can get.
Okay.
Depending on obviously how much
many
is
gold's
there.
worth do you need? That's my interest.
Depends how much it is. I'd say for probably.
Depends how much money I got.
I'd say probably 10 gold pieces worth of paper and 10 gold pieces worth of ink.
Okay. You first see Sentry walk off to this vegetable stand, and you walk forward, and there's loads of patrons talking. You can inquire with one of them to see which is the best place if you wish.
Yeah.
Or you can just have a general look around. What would Oakland do?
Generally look around to find just the best quality paper that there possibly is.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Cool. She will put her head up to hide herself just a wee bit.
Okay.
Investigation.
A little nosy round.
That's a 16.
The 16? Yeah, you have a look around, and there seems to be. You kind of like look around, and there's some fish stands and some bits of kind of crafts, rope, and you think, oh, you see a guy in front of you, and you open it. It's got like kind of an open-ended tent. Who's got lanterns and rope, and you see stacks of books, different tomes, and you think this might be the best place.
Go ahead, in there.
Yeah. At this point, Sentry's still talking. She's doing this at the same time, so I'm trying to work it all out. And you see a bald-headed, big-bearded chap, quite slim in nature, big bulging red nose, and he goes, "Victor, nice to meet you."
Jinglehorn, Jigby. Wait, sorry, this is for me.
This
not...
is Oakland.
This is Oakland.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said my name for some
You're
minute.
going to the same person.
Oh, right. There you go.
What can I do you for? Hooded one? Kind of tries to look under your hood.
Hello, I'm here to buy some paper and ink, please.
Ah, paper, yes.
Your finest, if that's all right.
The finest? We only sell the finest.
That's why I came here.
I see you have a keen eye. Paper, parchment.
Parchment.
We have stacks. Would you like to just any or the finest? Fine, I'll be back. And he kind of like gets this kind of like small crate, this wooden crate, kind of plucks it on the desk and goes, "This is yes, this is 15 gold worth."
So it's in like a box. Can I see inside?
Yeah, of course you can. You can have a little rummage.
Cool. Good parchment. Is it quite like a fair bit?
Do you put your hand out to touch it?
No, I'm just like having a little glance. I'm not gonna touch.
Okay, so he kind of like goes, "You like the wares? Yes."
Yeah, how much is in there? Can I roughly see if it's a good amount for 15?
You can tell it's a fair decent amount, and he goes, "This is the last of what I've got at the moment."
That's fine. I'll take that.
So you're completely wiping me out of parchment. There shall be no notes for loved ones. There shall be no written poems for the adventuring kind.
Oh, that's fine.
My fair lady has taken all my stash, and I am proud of it. 15 gold, please.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Guilt tripping you buying from him.
I need paper. What the fuck?
Fuck the families.
So yeah, remove 15 gold from your coin purse.
She is not a negotiator.
And you place the gold on the table, and he goes, "That seems like me done for today. Thank you." And places it in his chest. Not in his chest, in a chest. Closes the chest. Ingests the gold. Places it in a small chest and closes it and locks it up and goes, "Will there be anything else? Because I've definitely got somewhere to be now."
I don't suppose you got any ink.
Ink, I can throw that in as well. It's fine.
Oh, of course. Perfect.
Hands you a little pot and just goes, "Take it all. I got plenty
How
for
much
you."
copies worth would that roughly be, DM?
How much you need?
Well, it depends how much he's given me.
He's given you like a big pot. Like you would assume that would probably be enough for half, if not 3/4 of the paper you've given you.
I need a gold piece.
So it's a fair whack. I would say a gold. I would say more than a gold piece worth. I would say it's probably about 2 or 3 golds worth.
Oh, okay. 2.
It's a big pot. He's literally given you everything he's got because he's very happy with the last transaction.
Take that, bow my head a little bit, and leave. But before I leave, actually, I'm so sorry. Is there a place of knowledge here? Library? Anything of the sort?
Well, the only knowledge you're going to find around here. I mean, are you the religious type?
No, but I do like studying.
Well, if you're the religious type, there are places. I mean, if you look to the west of town, you should see the House of the Morning Lord, if that's your thing.
House of the Morning Lord.
He comes out quite regularly, and in fact, he purchases most of my parchment. Mishan, his name is, the priest there. He could teach you one thing about this weird god, as I don't believe in. Or you could just, leave it alone. It's up to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Take care.
No,
I'll
thank you
leave.
for your patronage and money.
I just leave.
Okay. As you leave, he kind of like goes towards the kind of curtains and begins to close them. As this is happening, Sentry, you see Oaklin walk away with a big stack of paper and ink, and you see the person you've been told to talk to is about to close shop. What do you do?
Sorry. Sorry, not.
Just put a hand up.
He kind of like goes and goes, "Yeah, yes."
Do you have lanterns?
Lanterns, yes, we have lanterns.
Can I procure one if you're not finished for the day?
Is this some sort of joke? I'm getting so much business today. What? You want one lantern?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That's 12 silver. And he kind of stares you in the face.
Stares me in the face. Okay.
He's desperate.
Let me get out my 12 silver.
Math.
1 gold and 2 silver. If you
Good. Banging out.
He
no
kind of
silver.
like about to grabs on and reaches out with his hand and goes, "Thank you."
Yep.
And goes, "Here is our finest lantern."
How does it look?
Looks like a lantern. Yeah, it's not broken. It's made of metal. It's not polished. It's quite it's relatively new, as you can probably tell. It's probably had a few uses, but it's pretty good condition considering your old one is full of dirt and broken in places.
Okay. Cool. Yep.
I'm
Put that
Yeah.
in collection.
Yeah, I'm gonna, well, obviously not paying attention to what Sentry's doing. I'm gonna look around, try and find a library, and if I'm unsuccessful, then I will go to the west of town to the House of the Lord.
Okay. The rest of you. So say you're following Sentry.
Yeah.
Salvation, what are you up to?
So, whilst everybody else has gone off shopping,
Hmm.
Salvation would like to sort of back away from the group. Does anyone notice her leave? Or more specifically, because everyone's just going off doing shopping, so she wouldn't look too suspicious, does anyone see what direction she goes in?
I would say the fact that everyone's walked off, I would say their attention's off you. So if you was to walk a direction, they would probably assume you're shopping. Just like everyone else.
So, Salvation would like to pull her hood up, and she would like to head towards the Northlook Inn.
Okay, you can do that, no problem at all. As that anonymous thundercloud comes yeah, you can start making your way back to where you came from, not a problem at all. I would say you don't need to make a roll for that, necessarily.
Cool. Yeah, she wants to go towards, and when she gets there, she would like to go inside and find a small, quiet, out-of-the-way table to sit.
Okay.
And see what she can see when she's in there.
Good to know. Good to know. Jackal, you are on the way to Black Iron Blades.
I am indeed.
Okay, you walk with Athena. Are you mounted on Athena at the moment, or are you walking with her?
No, in the city grounds, she'll just be like a sort of guard dog, be right by my leg,
Cool.
kind of thing. Probably actually bigger than me,
No,
so
she comes up to your shoulder height. Yeah, that's why you can ride her. If she was like down there, that would just be cruel. So like, yeah, she comes up to your shoulder height. And anyway, so you kind of walk up to the owners of the Black Iron Blades, and you see the kind of female figure at the back, kind of like putting things in crates and boxes, and starts almost packing things up. And you hear the ding, 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 and he holds this pickaxe in place and kind of like inspects it in the light of what's left. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna go. Excuse me, fine gentlemen. Are you the owner of this establishment?
He kind of looks back at you and goes, that's a big cat. Hi.
Don't worry, she's more than friendly. She's my companion, and she's a very good girl. Athena, sit.
Yeah, she sits. And,
I'm just gonna like hold my hands out and like what you'll see like a raised eyebrow.
He goes, that's a clever trick. Garn, nice to meet you. Smithcraft, the Black Iron Blades. How can I help? You and your cat.
Garn, pleasure to meet you. My name's Jackal, and this here is my partner, Athena. I'm looking to try and give myself some added protection, if you know what I mean.
Right, protection. I mean, against what exactly? Well, I mean, you can do it against the cold, against a blade. What kind of protection are we after?
Yeah, we're talking blades here, friend. But I need it to be dexterous as well. I can't have it weighing me down.
Okay. Well, we sell leather, armor of sorts, if that's something you're interested in.
You see, as you can see what I'm currently wearing, I currently have some leather on me, but I was thinking more along the lines of a graded leather, something like studded leather or something like that.
You want to just add additional bits to... Right, okay. Would you like me to take your armor away from you to see if we can fix it up?
Yeah, please. I'd be more than happy for you to take a look at it.
Well, we can't do anything here because we're not set up for armor right now, but we can do it back in the shop. Might take a day or two.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't be an issue as long as it takes no longer, because I'm afraid me and my partner here, Athena, we don't stay in one place too long.
I get that. We don't get many like you around here. I suppose if me and Elsa work on it together, we'll probably get it done in a day.
I'm more than happy to pay the coin for your labor.
Okay, and you just want it... I'll tell you what, and he kind of inspects it and looks around, kind of knocks it a bit and looks up and goes, do you mind if I have a look? And just...
Absolutely. You do as you need.
You
sir.
kind of like put your arms up so you're like doing a T, like you know when you get a suit fitted. And he kind of like,
Yeah, Taylor,
he kind
yeah.
of like gets a bit of rope, which has got some notches on it, kind of like what puts it around your waist. And he goes, "Right, I'm not going to ask how that happened." And he points to quite a big gouge in your armor. But we could probably do something about that. How about you drop it by later on this evening? We have a collections box outside the shop, and we take it in regularly. In fact, no, just put it in the shop. We'll answer the door later. What's your name, Jackal? You say?
Jackal's my name,
Aye.
indeed.
All right, Jackal. Right, I'll have to. We'll pack up here, and then we'll take your goods later, so we can fix it up for you. But I'm gonna have to have 2 gold on the spot, if that's okay.
2 gold, absolutely. Here, as I hand him 2 gold.
Okay, yeah. Take 2 gold out of your coin purse, and he kind of like goes, "Oh, thank you very much," and he kind of like puts it. He goes, "The shop is just around the corner from the north lock. If you go to the west-hand side at the top, towards the wall, you should see it. We've got big signs saying Black Iron Blades. That's our place."
Fantastic. I'll keep a keen eye out for it, and I'll drop this by later on.
Okay, we'll look forward to it. I look forward to helping you out.
Pleasure, friend. Thank you very much. As Jack was going to proceed to walk out the door and call Athena to come with him.
Yeah, you walk away from the tent, and kind of Athena follows you, and you hear the same kind of comment that Saya heard. Obviously, Meta, you don't know that, but he kind of goes, "He was a nice guy, wasn't he? Business done for today, love." And he kind of walks off.
Nice. And then, yeah, what Jack will do from here is... does he want anything else? No. We're done for today. Yeah, he'll try and find the rest of the group.
Okay, yeah, you can try and find... I mean, it's not hard to find Sentry, and possibly the passing of Oakland while all this is happening. You can see them over one tent.
I'll be heading over to the Black Iron Blade.
Okay, so you pass Sentry. Sentry walks past you. And, do you do anything?
Where you headed, Sentry?
The Black Iron Blades, I believe the blacksmith may have
Stop talking, pal. You might want to get over there quickly. I believe they're shutting up soon for the day.
I'll go at a quicker pace.
Yeah. Do the same again. Same protocol. Hand out with Victor. So they're kind of like putting the boxes out and stacking them up and putting them on a cart, and you can see like they're kind of taking the tarp down off the kind of roof, and you walk over. Do you say anything or do anything?
Excuse me, I seem to catch everybody when they're packing up. Do you have any caltrops? I'm looking for a set of 2 bags worth.
So sorry, what do you need? Sorry.
Caltrops. It's small, pointed ball bearings as such.
Ah, small pointed bell bearings. Aye, we've got them. We can sort you out. Your quarters were just about to close, laddie. So yeah, is it just that or anything else?
Looking at Sam, what he's wearing at the moment, is it like ragtag leather armor?
Saya, what are you wearing? Besides the voice distortion.
Where do I see? Would that be in like items and shit?
So it should say under your items what kind of armor you have on, whether it's leather or iron.
Shoes, rapier, last crossbow, studded. I got studded leather armor.
Okay, cool. So you see a form of whatever description you'd like to say of studded leather armor.
Well, you can kind of see it under because he's wearing like his scarf and everything. You can kind of see it, like the studs, kind of making the clothes kind of bump up a little bit, so you can kind of tell that there's studs, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You can see
Pretty
that.
obvious.
I I believe the caltrops is all I'm looking for. Are you needing anything else, sir?
Not that I can think of, unless you can.
How do
I
you
really
spell what
can't.
you're after? Sorry, Luke. Just that again.
Caltrops. CALTROPS. On.
There's always one.
They come in a bag of 20.
Yeah, I've got them.
Just looking for
Not
two.
in the standard D&D buying kit, but it's fine.
Does lot. What you mean? Getting a net isn't part of the standard.
I mean, let's be honest, it never is with you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't think standard is in your.
Yeah, standard, not in repertoire.
It's not in your vocabulary, man.
Okay, he kind of like turns around to you, Sentry, with this kind of canvas bag, and he goes, "Right, that's a gold piece."
There you are. Yeah, bring out the gold for it.
And he kind of like looks at you and goes, "Be careful of them. They're quite sharp, as you probably imagine."
I'll make sure to store them carefully. Many thanks. Take care.
You take care too. He kind of looks at you a bit closer, because every time you kind of get a transaction with anyone, they kind of look at you and they have to double take, and they kind of go, "I'm not going to ask." And he kind of like turns around and he goes, "He was also a nice guy." And he kind of like hear that.
Say that about everyone.
Yeah, and you walk out. You can see the cart being put up now, and most of these kind of like marketplaces, tents or makeshift camps are being taken down at this point, as you can assume business is at its end of the day.
So I've nowhere else to go and shop, and Willow and Co were saying we shouldn't go to the bar, so I'd like to go to the bar.
Sounds good to me. I already did all my shopping while you guys were going to see that freaking sidekick. So let's go.
Okay.
I'll head to the what's it called? The lookout. Northlet. That's it.
So you head towards the north entrance of where you went.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just kind of getting time and where everyone is. Salvation, you're a few minutes up this road. Sentry and Say, you've just started on this road. Jackal,
Yep.
What are you doing? Are you following, or are you just waiting around all the time?
Did anybody say where they're going back to?
I said that I was going to the Black Armaments.
You don't know why they...
Yeah,
I mean, you do see them leave, but you don't know why, I would say.
What I'll do is I will go back to the centre of the town. Then, as what I haven't changed it since one of my primeval senses was humanoids, I'm going to see if I can hone in on anything that smells, looks like Hobo Sayer. If I can.
Okay. So you want to use primeval awareness to find Sayer?
Yes, if I can.
Why me?
Because I don't know where anyone is.
Fucking metal man.
Okay, I mean, you can absolutely do that. That's not an issue.
Okay.
And you kind of like tune into your inner ability. You can, again, close your eyes. You feel everyone around you. I mean, when it comes to humanoids, but then you specifically point one out, you have to like kind of like filter it almost. And then you kind of like look and you hear that. And you kind of like come out of it and you go, yeah, he's there. Like 20, 30 feet away from you, just going out the kind of like north exit or entrance, if you were, where you came from.
Nice. Yeah, once I get a hone on him, I will start going that way with Athena.
Okay, yeah, you can make that way. So you guys are all now walking towards Salvation. You're in front, the rest of you behind. Oakland, you have been told that there is a House of the Morning Lord somewhere. Are you going to just look around town for it? Or are you going to...
I'm going to look around town as I'm walking towards it and basically try and see if there is a library or anything of knowledge of sorts that I can go into. possibly study. If I genuinely cannot find anything, then I'll just head to exactly where that guy said.
Okay. So I would say at this point, because you're trying to find somewhere where you're not familiar, make an investigation check. Just to see what you can find.
Investigation.
Willow's gonna end up in a cult.
20. With a 20, you kind of like walk down one of the aisles. I mean, these roads are quite big compared to the little shanty turnings that was towards Beldora's abode. Some of them have cobbled path and the snow's been shoveled off them, and you kind of see a few merchants walk past you. There's a few chickens on the ground kind of stroming around as you do. Fantasyland medieval. And you're kind of like looking around like a lost, as the camera kind of a low angle, kind of looking around and kind of looking around that kind of in the city kind of thing. And you overhear a conversation with a 20, and the conversation is between two farmers with their chickens, and they're kind of putting the seed out before the day's end, and they're talking about a particular book that they have read, and it's about farming and about agriculture. And they go, this older lady, kind of arched back, big bun, grey hair, trench coat, woolly coat, with a scarf, kind of goes,
"Did you read the one about the chicken stock that I made? It's quite a page turner, you know, Derek."
And Derek goes,
"Oh, don't talk about the chicken stock. Yeah, that chicken's got about 4 days left in him before I serve him up with a steak."
And he goes,
"Oh, don't talk about that way."
and you kind of overhear a conversation about chickens. So you assume there's a library somewhere for the way they were talking about this book.
Cool. I'll waddle over.
Yeah, you can waddle over.
Excuse me.
Kind of spreading seed like.
I don't mean to interrupt. I was overhearing a conversation about books. Is there a library nearby?
I've only got one good eye, and I can see just about your face. A library?
Yes, a place of knowledge where I can find books. I overheard that you were talking about books.
Oh, you want to read my chicken book?
I mean, I do
Derek,
like farming,
Derek,
but I'm...
she wants to read the chicken book.
And Derek comes over.
Oh, don't start on the chicken book.
Do you know where a library is? Sorry.
The library. Yeah. My old arthritis is killing me. Down the road, see if you find the blue wheel on top of the building, you find a library. It's called the Turning Point.
Turning Point.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Go see Marvin in there. He's probably closing up about around now.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And I'll
Yeah.
start sprinting.
Come back if you want some chickens.
Kind of like continue spreading the seed.
Yeah, I'll literally sprint down to try and
Yeah,
find
you
it.
run, bolt, and it's not that far. You kind of like walk
Yeah.
over maybe a few kind of like feet, so you look at a few doors, and then you see this almost like a ship wheel, painted blue on the top of this building, in this kind of small archway. It almost represents kind of a cathedral or church, but a very small version, with a very pointed thatched roof and one window which is round on the left-hand side of it. And you can see that the door is kind of cranked ajar, open.
I will give it a little knock and squeeze it. Open the jar. Ugh.
So you walk over, you knock on the door, give it a bang, and you kind of go. You kind of hear from the distance. You go, "Wait a minute, hold on," and he kind of like opens the door for you as you walk in. He goes, "Hey, what can I do for you?"
I heard you were closing soon, but I'm really desperate just to read a couple of books, if you don't mind. Sorry if it's late.
It's a wee bit late to be reading books now, isn't it, wee lassie?
I'm never stop studying, I'll pay to just be here for an hour or two.
You know, I'm... what can I say? I love knowledge, don't you?
Oh? I'm
Yeah.
frozen. Oh no, I'm back.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, frozen there for a minute.
No, we haven't got frozen. It's quite cold. Do you want to come out? Do you want to come in? Come in.
Oh,
Come in.
yeah, of course. And I'll come in and take my head
He
down.
kind of
and-
lights a lantern as you walk in and goes,
I tell you what. Don't worry about the money. I appreciate people learning things. And this is why I'm here. And this is why it's called Turning Point. So people can turn their lives around in some way. With the help of Marvin. And hopefully I get remembered for that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was speaking to a couple farmers down the road who advised to speak to yourself. It was Marvin, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Well, you mean Derek? Who is an old, bratty, old, wise man.
Yeah, talking about chickens a lot.
Knows a lot about his eggs, does Derek, but not about books. But yes, what kind of tomes are you after?
Well, I'm very much skilled in the arcane arts. Just to see if there's any books about realms and certain sorts of magic and glyphs, arcane runes, if there's anything here. I know they're quite rare to get, but I was hoping I'd find something.
And what you speak of is rare. Oh, really all we have in here is just general information. Tomes about buildings and tomes about growing and general life. But you know, I might know someone who studies in the arcane especially.
Yeah?
It's in fact, wait there a moment.
Okay.
and he kind of scuttles on. He's got like a bit of a hunchback. He's an aging man. He's got his hood down, but he's got this kind of long, bushy grey hair, almost like Pinocchio. What was his name?
The guy from Pinocchio.
It's coming to me. What's his name?
Jalappo, Giuseppe, something like that.
Geppetto. Just like
Geppetto. I was
Geppetto, yeah.
near
He's got his
there.
little half.
Yeah.
He's got his little half coat, kind of waddles in, kind of like walking. You see him walk out a door at the back here. He takes a little light with him and a little lantern and puts it down here. And he kind of like goes, and you hear like a closet opening. He goes, and you hear in the distance, and you kind of like he kind of like walks back and waddles and kind of presents you with this book and goes,
This was dropped off to me 10 years ago. No idea what it is.
Well, I'm more than happy to have a look through it if you don't mind.
But I'm aware it is of the arcane. That's it.
Okay. Is there anywhere I can sit and start reading?
you can.
Yeah, I'll sit down, get comfortable, and I'll just start reading through the book.
Yeah, absolutely. He kind of lends you his lantern and pops it on the chair, and you kind of sit down and flick through. And it is a book of arcane nature. Do you read Elven? Is that correct?
I double check.
Elvish.
I do. I
Yes.
speak Elvish.
And the reason why you recognise it and he doesn't is because it's all in Elvish.
Awesome.
It's
Okay,
a very
I will-
beautifully spined book. The front cover has got all sorts of patterns mixed with the elegant textiles of the language, and it kind of intertwines into one of this pattern versus text tome. Dusty as hell, quite chunky.
Right, yeah, I'll start reading through it, getting whatever information I can, learning anything new. The specifics I want to find is Realm of Shadows, the glyph that Willow saw, and timescale magic.
Okay, you can certainly start reading through this.
Yeah, I'll start reading through. I'll spend
Would you
my
like to
time.
read the front cover and what it says? Before you
Yeah,
start
what's
reading?
the book called mainly? Yeah, what's the book's name?
I was waiting for you to tell me. It's fine. It's called. You kind of read it from top to bottom. It's in a weird pattern and drawn around. It's called The Circles of the Moon and the Waves.
Moon. Ah, I'm going off the page. Cool. Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Meanwhile, Salvation. You have reached the hustle and bustle of the Northlook, which is still going on strong. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go in and find a quiet table.
Okay.
Looking around, seeing who's there. Specifically, anyone in robes with ponytails, I believe.
Okay. So as you kind of like come closer towards this familiar building which you walked in at to start off with, you kind of like walk up to the building itself. You can see the north look with the picture of the bull underneath, and you kind of like go up a few steps and almost like shove your way past a few patrons having a drink out on the outside, and you open the door. And let me put you on the map, just for argument's sake, just so we can put it on the map. On the map.
Let me know it's done, just in case I need to refresh Roll20.
Yeah, it should do it. I think Roll20 was playing up earlier, but I think it's good now. And you're on your own, correct?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
I'm only asking you just in case you was asking anyone on the streets or anything. Cool. Bear with me a sec. Just going to drop you on. Where are you? There you are. Right, let me know if you see anything.
Yes, I do. Oh my god, that's a lot of people.
So, as you walk in,
Christ.
the music is loud, the smell of meats and beer and ale and sticky stains on the table as you normally go into a nightclub, not that we've been in a while. The familiar smell of a very happy and lively place as you walk in. So what was the first thing you'd like to do?
Do I see anyone that matches Bertul? You can't see I'm doing air quotes. Who she said she was looking for. Anyone that matches that description in this bar currently.
Okay, make a perception check.
Yeah, 11.
11. With an 11, it's very busy in here. There's a lot of people kind of looking around and kind of drinking, laughing, cheering, singing songs. With an 11, though, you do immediately realise, as you walk in, there are two patrons speaking to one another directly in front of you, loud enough to be heard, saying, you hear the smaller dwarvish folk on the left kind of look around and go, is he here yet? I can't wait for him to show. I've heard a lot about him. And the figure by him goes, well, he's got a great voice. Quite dreamy too. What'd you do?
Are these just two random people?
They are.
Okay, I'm just gonna carry on further in and just trying not to look suspicious, but just trying to scan the crowd to see if I can see anyone that matches that description or anyone I recognise at all.
Okay. Would you like to move your token in where you want to go?
Okay, sure. So which bit is the actual? Oh, that bit's the bar. Okay.
Yes.
So.
And
let's go.
As you kind of walk in, you can see a kind of an old-fashioned kind of rounded bar with loads of kegs, plenty of ale on tap, a weird-looking fish behind the bar placked up on the wall, and a kind of half-balding gentleman behind the bar as he serves beer out and wines and food.
Okay.
If you've moved position, would you like to make a secondary perception check just to see if you can?
Hang on, sorry, I was making notes.
It's fine.
So I'm gonna move it. Can I move in a bit further first?
Yeah, of course you can.
So head round this way to sort of the other side of the bar. Just sort of stand here waiting for a gap, and I'll make another perception check there if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, make a perception check.
That is an 18.
An 18. With an 18, you looking around for any description. What in particular are you looking for as you're searching around and all these hooded characters and seeing these tables of people laughing and drinking?
Anyone that I recognize, or anyone that looks like they belong to this arcane brotherhood.
Okay.
You know, with the Batul described with the robes and the ponytails I've got written down.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah, hold on. That's a good point. Sorry, I was just reading notes. Trying to multitask.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, I'll do that. One-man production band over here.
You're doing great, sweetie.
I saw it, so I was like, whoop.
No, honestly, it's good that you did. I need to just pop things in. Let's pop the thing in. 1 second.
The little camera boy.
What's his name?
Why have I got Christmas songs popping into my head? I don't need that right now.
Christmas.
You
Oh,
tell
it's my
me.
dog.
I mean, it's your brain.
I just started singing along to myself in my own head, rocking around the Christmas tree, and I'm like, wait, no, that's wrong.
Right, okay, here we go. Right, here we are.
Okay, we're in.
Okay, so you're looking for anyone who represents anything to do with the Arcane Brotherhood.
Or anyone that looks familiar in any way whatsoever, on top of that.
Okay, with an 18, there are all sorts of folk with different dress senses and kind of like, in terms of being shifty and looking like they're part of the Arcane Brotherhood, it's not like you wear a very pointy hat kind of thing.
It would be better if they did.
It's one of those things where you have an idea of the dress sense, and some of the patrons might be a bit out there. So, for example, there's a person to your left has quite a long garm on their kind of a draped kind of top with a huge sleeve, with a long trench coat, big puffy jacket kind of thing, sitting down, a load of tattoos on the arm. That person could be suspicious. There's a dwarf behind you who has plaits and braids in a certain way that you've not seen before. It's worth having certain investigation more in between these people for a certain glance and a look, not so obvious. What would you like to
Okay. If nothing's immediately standing out, just everybody looks a bit sus. This whole town seems shady as fuck.
As you're looking around and looking like a lost sheep, you feel a tap on the shoulder.
Oh shit, okay.
Do you turn around?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And
Carefully.
As you slowly turn around, and the tap comes from down below, and she goes, "Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes, Salvation?" And behind you see a very familiar Plyn. Looking down, or looking up at you.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my heart. Oh, Rin. Hello. What are you doing here?
Well, I like to come here for a drink, if you remember. I kind of drank you under the table last time, but we won't talk about that, shall we?
Not going to lie, my memory foggy. That was the incident with the whiskey, yes?
Well, you see, whiskey isn't the only thing they've got here. They've got, they've got this fiery red liquid. I'm not sure what it is, but it tastes good. Would you like some?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm done with strange new alcohols. I meant more, what are you doing in Prince Shander?
Oh, well, I'm here for the performance, like most people will ask. Oh,
I mean, yes, the performance! Of course, that is also why I am here.
You don't sound too convinced, but I'll show you who it is. You see that fine chap up there on the stage?
And she points to this well-dressed, laced, patterned lapel, the lot, kind of like handsome chap with a long beard, kind of red hair all the way around, kind of piercing blue eyes. You got kind of a few closer female figures kind of dreaming into him, kind of thing. You would assume possibly a bard of sorts. And she goes, well, that's he goes by many names, but we call him Lucin or Lucien, or would you like to be mine, Lou?
Okay. Is he like really good or something?
Oh, he's the best round Icewind Ale, wee lass, and you come at the right time because it's about to start.
And you see at this point, kind of like the crowd go a bit quiet. At this point, Sentry and Saya, you have just reached the outside. What do you do?
Hustling and bustling on, like, noises coming from the inside is there, or?
Yep, absolutely. It's just about to quiet down. Like, you've heard the shh, 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 like that kind of thing. Are you going in?
Sure.
Okay.
So the area on the inside here, just keep an eye out.
Yeah, cool.
I will use the Psy Crystal to ping to Saya
Yeah, I replied
and,
what I said.
Okay.
and walk on him.
Okay. Yeah, so you open the door. Who's going first?
I'll go in first.
Yep. So let me put you guys on the map.
Quick glance as Saya's going in, just around behind us. Anybody giving us particular looks, or they're like they're shifty and just followed us here, kind of thing?
Make a perception check.
Do I notice them come in?
I would say that your attention is more towards the front. So not right now.
All right.
It's one of those things because, like, if I said yes, then meta knowledge means that you know they've walked in. Realistically, you're having a conversation with a person you haven't seen for a while, and I doubt your attention would be at the front.
Yep.
If there's anything to draw you towards the front of the room or the back of the room where people come in, then possibly, yeah.
Okay.
But right now, halfway into the tavern, you haven't seen them.
Cool.
With a 19 perception, you do see Salvation straight ahead of you, probably 50-ish feet.
Nobody else giving looks around the room and such.
No one else kind of staring you down, if that's what you're looking for.
And no, I mean, pretty silly question to ask, but no bottle or anybody who looks as though they're a particular person of interest, like what Nerth was. Obviously, the main performer fella that's coming up would be of interest, I suppose.
Yeah,
but
everyone's looking towards him at the moment, and you can see about 100 feet in front of you. This place is massive. The Northlook is the main tavern, and it is huge. It's 2 floors high. It's got all sorts of like chairs and places to rest. But it kind of goes back and beyond. It's a bit like a Spoons. You don't expect it to be bigger than it is, but it is actually massive.
Yeah. Well.
But then you walk in, looking around with a 19. You don't see anyone who represents Batul. Anything else
Should
you'd like
we
to do?
have a look around just over the Psy Crystal to say? Should we have a look around?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Would you guys like to position yourself on the map where you'd like to go, just to move freely?
I will start heading, I suppose, up there's staircase here, is it?
Yes, there is.
I will head up the staircase and just try and get round to the edge part here if it looks like it's a good way to get sight.
Yeah. There's less
Up
patrons up there, so you can scoot around no problem whatsoever. And you actually get a better view of below you, so you can see Salvation better. And at this point, you do recognise a very familiar dwarf stood by her.
Cool. Yep. Just stay inconspicuous as I can.
Yep.
Just look around.
Yeah, just make a quick... Actually, no. Don't do that. That's fine. You're fine. You're far runs the way. Saya, what are you doing?
I'm going to the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say it does.
By the way,
Look around, I'm tired, I want to drink.
the side crystal, I'm pretty sure, is out of range now.
What's the range on the side crystal? What's it say?
My intelligence, that does it. So it's only 30 feet, yeah, so I'll be out of range now.
Yeah, it would be out of range.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks for being honest. So, as the rest of the patrons are beginning to hush down, and everyone's kind of like waiting for a performance. You know that pinnacle moment just before a performance happens. Everything goes a little bit quiet, and you hear just the slight muttering and chatter of everyone as the production value is about to go up in this, by the way. You hear a song being played.
We bow to she who wears the crown, with the world shiver with dread. Clad in winter's whitest gown, the snow enshrouds the dead.
Copyright free.
I don't have Watch Together on.
Bit awkward. Are we just gonna sit here and listen to this?
No, I think Fraser's getting out.
Slumber's gone to its silent tomb, stilling her golden grace.
It's an important song.
I was gonna say, I think you're all supposed to be listening to it.
No, like several songs all playing at the same time.
Set upon never-ending night, she conjures paradise.
You got it, Fraser?
Say go.
You got it? Is this it?
Is this you singing? That is totally Fraser singing, isn't it?
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
I can. It's on roll 20.
So it's on roll 20, just so you know.
I couldn't hear anything.
It's not on Watch Together, and it's an important song. And yes, it's me singing.
Yeah, I thought so.
And
Whoa, hang on a second. I need to turn up my roll 20 then.
Yeah, it's ended now.
Okay.
It's ended now, mate.
I will play it once more for technical issues. Is everyone listening to roll 20?
For the life of me,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the lyrics on your journal.
Go for it.
Ooh, then we can sing along.
Oh wow.
I didn't know how this was going to go, so I had to do it a million ways. But yeah, let's. You should have the Bard's song in everyone's journal.
The Bard's
and yes,
song?
there is no copyrights to this. No infringements. Okay. Is everyone listening to roll 20?
Yeah.
Okay. Salvation.
Yep, I've got my roll 20 sound up, but I'm going to be muted because I have to have it out loud.
It is quite quiet, so just give it a good listen and try and listen to the vocals.
Okay.
We bow to she who wears the crown, let the world shiver with dread. Clad in winter's whitest gown, the snow enshrouds the dead. Her fury sheds but frozen tears as great clouds issue forth. The wind across the wasteland sheets, bringing blizzards from the north. Ice-kissed flowers caught mid-bloom, beauty kept in its grace. Song Summer's gone to its silent tune, stilling her cold embrace. All the world in winter's white, sheathed in sleet and ice, set upon never-ending night, she conjures paradise. Behold her everlasting rhyme, see how it covers all. Weep not for those she traps in time, before her glacial wall.
So,
Fuck me! God damn!
you all hear the bard sound. Everyone make a general in history check. Why not?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck.
Actually, no. People in the bar, not everyone else.
Well done,
But yeah,
mate.
people. Everyone who's in the bar, make a general history check.
Really
Where's
good.
Jackal at the moment? I've got no idea where Jackal is.
Oh yeah, where's Jackal?
Oh yeah.
Jackal's on the way.
Inbound.
Oh, okay, cool.
You may have just missed the performance though, so it's one of
Damn, I got a natty 20 -1, 19.
Oh man, that 20 with the 19's not the one. Yeah, it's good though. Sentry, salvation history. Yeah. So I would say, Sentry. This is an interesting one for you because of your situation and where you've come from, and what she's speaking about, what he is singing about, and the words he's using, such as the words about the Frost Maiden, and possibly putting two and two together. It possibly could be insight information, especially with a natural 20, about something going on within the world. And just with that kind of check, especially some of the words used in particular in some of the phrases, the kind of winds across the wasteland, blizzards from the north, all this kind of stuff. There's possibly more to it, and it's worth investigating.
As in, investigating
The bard, the guy who sang it. You have almost immediate, intention to possibly ask further questions to him, to where those words came from. This isn't like any other song that you hear just about shantying fishermen and talking about...
who carry messages from place to place, don't they?
Yes.
So the information that he's got on here, he would have gleaned from somewhere, kind of thing. So I should follow it up with him.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Okay.
And on that note, that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Jack will walk in at this point, by the way. Yeah. We'll pick that up next session.
Yeah.
Oh no, Mr. DM, if you're gonna do an outro, you've got to play us out with that beautiful song again.
Really?
If you can send me the song,
That's seriously fucking good. That's really good.
you-
It
You
was
did a really good job with it.
send me the song and I'll make it the outro.
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful.
Don't play it again. I'll make it the outro. Otherwise, it's going to clash with it. The audio is going to overlap.
Okay, it's playing again.
Oh, stop! Okay, fine. I guess I'll put it as the outro then.
It's right. It's fine. We can put it as the outro.
Well, no, because I can't layer both of them, can I?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah,
Just get the outro for the end piece.
Yeah, we meant.
Look at us
It will work. It's fine.
No.
We'll
You
make it
don't
work.
get what I'm talking about. Don't worry.
now.
Yeah, I think Luke gets one.
Ice-kissed flowers caught mid-bloom, beauty kept
Right.
in its place.
We just go.
Summer's gone to its silent
Okay.
tune, stilling her cold embrace. All the
Yeah, no, this is not what I was talking about. I meant like, okay, don't worry, whatever.
set upon never-ending night,
I was trying to explain.
conjures paradise. Behold her everlasting rhyme, see a glacial wall.
So I'll play that one more time. I played that because probably more inside information for Sentry, but hey, it was good to end on. And thank you, Jack, for saying that. And yes, Saya, I understand what you're talking about, but I just wanted to play it one more time before we ended. It's cool.
We heard it 3 times.
I know. And somebody started talking in front of it.
Yes, because I was trying to explain what the fuck I was talking about.
Anyway, we really appreciate all the likes, supports, and subscribes onto the channel. Please follow the Dungeon Delvers on Instagram with a Z. Please follow Dungeon Delvers on YouTube and where you are now. Just do things with it and just click.
Where you are viewing.
And click on buttons and things and make us look nice. But we shall pick off hopefully next week and shall be back very soon. But yes, goodbye from me and goodbye from the cast. Bye.
Bye. Good night.